Welcome to the RC Roundtable podcast, where we discuss the latest RC hobby news, events, model reviews, and a whole lot more. Well, hello everybody, welcome to the RC Roundtable episode 220 something or another. Four, 224, okay. All right, I'm talking fast because we don't have a whole lot of time. We're going to have a long show today. We're talking about a lot of stuff. Everybody's gone every place, done things, and all kinds of exciting stuff. So we want to talk about it right now without wasting any more time.
This is like the old FedEx commercials.
Yes, that guy who talked fast.
How did you
have to?
Yeah. All right. But you're not lying. We all three have been doing lots of stuff. That's one of the reasons why we haven't released an episode in, has it been a month already? Probably. So we did do the...
Well, you guys had a show. Terry and I did a live show, but the three of us haven't done a show in quite some time.
Well, we haven't released that live show as an actual podcast yet. It's only on, Facebook and YouTube, or just Facebook? I don't even know.
It's on YouTube and Facebook.
Is it? Okay, so
it's Why are you shaking your head, Fitz? Why are you shaking your head? Did I do something wrong?
Guys, just wasted all that time I gave you extra time, and you're...
You blew it. All right, take two.
You blew it, man. No, I'm just kidding. It's good.
All right, so I'm going to sloth mode now, just to spite you.
Really?
So anyway, if you're noticing,
Bueller.
Right. So this is episode 224. If you're saying where the heck is 223, that's the live show we did that we're probably going to release, but we just haven't yet because we've been so doggone busy, darn it. So I've got a list here. These guys haven't seen the list yet. So I think they probably have things of their own they want to talk about, but...
It's like Fitz and I are in the sound stage, for the game show. Our contestants have earphones on. They don't know the questions. Right. Contestant number one.
So I've got my gavel here somewhere.
And did you check it twice?
I'm going to try to keep this show on the road and moving along because, obviously one of the things we're going to talk about is Oshkosh. And anytime we talk about such a big event, we tend to just spread out shotgun style and go all over the place. So we'll try to keep some regimented structure to it, but we'll see how it goes. We know our own limitations sometimes. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about, and oh boy, it's a doozy. On our live show, we talked mostly about Lee and I being at the AMA Nats and Muncie and all the cool stuff we saw and did there. And I think we, tongue-in-cheek, named that show Moist, and it was in reference to our Airbnb.
You're actually doing this?
Oh, yeah, you better. We got to get some positive out of this situation.
Oh, my God, that's great. Okay.
So for those who didn't hear it or don't remember, we stayed at an Airbnb close to AMA headquarters. It wasn't great, but it was fine. The biggest issue we had with it is in the living room, it smelled like a wet St. Bernard, and you couldn't escape it.
Really?
Yeah, and so, but everything else was fine. And I did mention to the owners or the managers of the place, whatever, this is probably something you want to take care of. And their response was, well, we'll do an air treatment. Well, unless that air treatment involves napalm and, I don't know, other government level forbidden stuff, then it ain't going to work. Lee, you with me there?
Well, the key was the house had poor ventilation and likely the water that's supposed to leave the air conditioner was probably in a pool up in the attic.
Yeah. But I looked at some older reviews and other people had the same claim, but they said, and the carpet's really old and stained. The carpet was new when we were there, but it had seen some moisture. But anyway, that's beside the point. So Lee and I stayed there for 8 days. And we're conscientious adults. We took care of the place. We did more than what was asked on the move-out list. We got all the garbage from every can, gathered it up. We put our towels in the right place. I am not exaggerating when I say it was in better shape when we left than when we got there. You with me on that one, Lee?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we checked out. We drove back to Green Bay. We did our thing. And the person running it asked me, and a message said, thanks for staying. Can you please leave a 5-star review? And in my brain, I'm like, if I leave a review, I can't in good conscience not mention the significant musty smell in there. And if I do that, I can't really give it 5 stars. So I landed, and we were also busy, so I didn't want to give it too much thought. So I landed on the strategy of just not leaving a review at all. I'm like, that's fair to them, and doesn't hurt anybody else.
I mean, was it livable? Yes. Were
Yeah,
there rodents eating at your face or your toes? No.
No, of course not.
Could you stay there again? Yes.
Yeah.
Would we? Absolutely not.
Yeah, but we stayed there a week, and it was fine. We both agreed that had our wives been with us, we would have walked in the front door and had to turn immediately around to find other accommodations. They would not have stayed there.
Yeah, man, rough it out.
But regardless, we stayed there. We paid whatever. We didn't ask for anything special. We checked out, came to Green Bay, and I didn't give it another thought. And then 2 days ago was the limit. I think you have 2 weeks after your checkout. That's the window to be able to leave a review. And I knew that day was coming, and I guess to the minute that window closed, I get an email from the Airbnb system that says,
hold on. Are you folks ready?
Oh yeah, get ready. So, and it builds a little bit. It's not all at once, but I get an email from the Airbnb saying their review of me had gone public. And now, if I'd been able to see it before that 2 weeks was over, I'm not sure. But all I know is I got an email saying, check out their review of you. So
they can review you?
Even if you don't leave a comment.
Yeah.
So really?
The owner can review the guest, and the guest can review the owner. That's just how Airbnb works. Yeah. Well, because I'm sure there's crummy guests out there who trash places and do bad things. I get it. So just like the ride-sharing places, you want to know if you're getting a crappy person in your car or not, and you want to know if you're getting in a car that has a good person. Anyway, so I look at the review, and what does it say? I don't remember the exact words, but they destroyed the bed linens, otherwise an adequate guest. And I'm like, huh?
Destroyed the bed linens?
I don't remember.
That's exactly what I said, Fitz.
And so
what are you guys doing? So
I screenshotted it and I sent it to Lee. I'm like, what do you think this is? And he's like, oh. Of course, he made some jokes. But so I messaged the people. I said, I just saw this review and I don't know what you're talking about. Can you explain this? And it was several hours later. It was that night that they responded. And this would have been 2 nights ago. They said, yeah, somebody peed all over one of the beds. It went through the mattress, or it went through the comforter, the sheets, the mattress cover, and the mattress. We had to take the mattress out back and air it out for a few days. And
dang, man, that's a hell of a party.
So I responded. I'm like, yeah, there's a mistake here. That absolutely did not happen.
Really, that wasn't pee. That was glow fuel.
While these 2 healthy adults were staying in, there's some kind of a mix-up here. And they responded, no, my cleaner called me at the time, sent me pictures of the wet bed, and I went a day or 2 later and put everything back together. And my last email to them was I don't know what else to say to you. This is absolutely insane. And so that has had me thinking for days now, how do you, when given an accusation like this, is there anything I could possibly say that would make my case? I know I didn't pee on their bed. Lee knows he didn't pee on their bed. By the way, there were 2 beds for anybody cooking up conspiracy theories.
Those aren't pillows.
So we are absolutely convinced that we left that house dry as a bone. The beds were dry as a bone, urine free. Yeah. Absolutely. So there's some sort of funny business going on here. Is there something weird going on with the cleaner? Did a disgruntled neighbor go in and do something? I have no idea. All I know is it doesn't involve these 2 guys.
No, it was not.
But is there anything at all that I can say to these people to make that case? Because I would have a theory that they're trying to shake me down for more money or something, a cleaning fee. That hasn't happened. They haven't given me any surcharges yet, and I would assume that window is closed. So they're not trying to get more money out of, I don't know.
Either of us.
It is the most bizarre thing in the world.
That is weird. Can you DNA test urine?
Well, so I mentioned that in the message to me, she said, the person sent me pictures, and Lee's first response was, well, get them to send the pictures. Let's see what they're talking about. And my thought on that is, what good do pictures do? We know we didn't pee on their bed. All they're going to do is send us pictures that.
Okay, well, the thing that some people might be screaming right now is because they used a service, you asked the question, it must have been for a different house. And I think that's what I'm stuck on. It had to have been for a different house.
Yeah,
unless, of course, what Terry had mentioned, maybe a neighbor got in, maybe someone else came in, maybe a different timing. Maybe they let it out for a day and just completely forgot that it was us for the week. I'm telling you, that house was perfect. We were keeping that place clean. We were washing towels, the sheets. I put all the sheets in a nice pile, right where they on the sticky floor. Maybe that's what transferred because everything was moist in that apartment. But it's just mind-boggling. And I told Terry, I said, maybe this is their way of making people pay a cleaning or a security deposit, fee on top. And he hasn't seen it yet, but who knows if that is going to just suddenly hit his credit card. But that's our fear, is that they're doing this to people and you can't prove it unless you sat around and walk through the house before you left.
Yeah, it sounds like you got to almost take pictures of everything.
Yeah, but who would think to shoot video as you're walking out? No, bed's not squishy and wet. It just never in a million years would have occurred to me that I was going to get accused of peeing all over somebody's bed. It is the most bizarre thing. Out of the thoughts that have been going through my head the past 2 days are just insane. There is no plausible theory that's like, oh, yeah, that's probably what happened. That makes more sense. No, there's not one plausible theory at all yet. So I don't get it. The only saving grace in this, my wife and I have done Airbnbs before. And so had she been home when I made this reservation, I would have asked her for the password. We usually do it on her phone. But she wasn't home. So I just went and made a new account with my email and all that and reserved this. So if you go and look at my profile on Airbnb right now, there's one review that says I'm a bedwetter. It doesn't say that, but he destroyed our linens. So do the math yourself. If it comes down to it, I'll just delete that account. No big deal. But and I have an opportunity to respond to that review. But again, if you're somebody out there reading that review who doesn't know me from anybody else, and I say, but I didn't pee in your bed. You're like, yeah, right, buddy. Sure you didn't. So, yeah, it's just a weird situation where there's an accusation out there and no way that I can think of to reliably refute that. It's just that you got to stand there and take it, I guess. So anyway, that's the last part. That's our wrap up from Nats and Muncie, and it is just so bizarre. So if any of you out there in podcast land have had a weird thing, either as an owner or a guest in an Airbnb, anything like that, let me know. I'd be interested to hear the outcome of what your situation was, because this one is just bonkers. So, all right, so moving on to the next thing. We left Muncie, we came back here to Green Bay, and we had 4 or 5 days before AirVenture started, and that's when we did the live show. So I don't want to rehash too much from then, but we did some fun stuff, right? We went flying one day. We flew plywood overcast in Green Bay. We maidened several Aero Scouts that were intended for buddy box training at Oshkosh, including a decathlon and a mini apprentice. So we did a lot of stuff. So are you about to show some pictures, Lee?
I can swap. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So video of us flying there at
your
field there in Green Bay. Yeah.
At your large club that can fly large airplanes, Terry.
Right. I mean, it's not the biggest field in the world. So we did ask the question, do we think this runway is big enough for it to take off? It was, with plenty of spare. And is the overflight area big enough to not be hanging out of the road? And it also was. But it wasn't a gimme, I don't think. And we were lucky while we were there working on the Aero Scouts. One of my clubmates came by with his grandson, who was also in the club, but the grandson's just getting started. And so we were at the point where we needed to test out the buddy box functions anyway. So we had a willing student to help us out with that. So that was a win-win for everybody. But we had a good day. We were there for hours and hours. And the weather, I think, was great. And we got a lot accomplished.
So here are the photos that I took while we were doing that work. So I thought I'd share these if y'all haven't been to our Facebook page.
Here's my shot.
Excuse
You can
me.
describe it.
Can I describe the field?
The shot.
Oh, let's do it AI style. A green field with an orange dot. People have lots of fun. And a green barn. So, yeah, this is my field in Green Bay, the Green Bay Model Airplane Club.
Hey, are those covers new? I don't remember the last time.
Yeah. We put those up about a month ago. And, man, they've been great because we've had a few really hot days here. Even by Texas standards, you would consider them hot.
And if you can see on the table, you see the suns there on the table? We kept moving stuff because if you're in the sun, you're baking. So every time the shade moved, we moved. So
you need overlapping covers then, huh?
Yeah. Well,
maybe. It's good enough. But initially, we put those poles in the ground, just piled them in with a pole driver. And then after the first windstorm, we came back and they had wallowed out the ground. So we had to go back and dig bigger holes and fill them with concrete. So they haven't moved since then. But yeah, that's been a great addition to the club. So yeah, there we are setting all this stuff up. We spent several hours, and Lee, I think you'll agree with me on this. The time we spent investing in this setup and the organization of all that equipment made the buddy boxing at Oshkosh so much easier and flow better. And from the 2 years previous that we've done it, I just have this feeling of kind of mildly controlled chaos the whole time, where I didn't get that impression at all this year. It just
so give us the elevator pitch. What did you do? What were you setting up? Are you setting up these apprentices, or you see a bunch of transmitters on a table? What?
I don't know if I can zoom in. I can. Can I scroll? There we go. If you look, Fitz, on this transmitter, can you see my mouse?
Yeah.
So see how it's got a white tag on it?
Yes.
Okay. This is a red tag. Somewhere over here is a blue tag. Okay. We labeled the master radios red, white, and blue. The buddy boxes were also red, white, and blue. So we matched them to colors. The planes had stickers on the landing gear that matched the master aircraft, the one that they were programmed to. So any radio you picked up, it was easy to find the buddy box and its aircraft. And I want to...
So, wait. The planes were supplied by AMA, right? You had them beforehand or something?
Yeah, we picked them up. We got them at Muncie.
Okay.
We were in Muncie first. We brought everything to Green Bay.
So let's give a brief history. 2 years ago, the first year that the three of us buddy boxed there were no buddy boxes at all. It was just the transmitter that came with the Aero Scouts, right?
Right.
So you give that transmitter to the student. When things get dicey, you got to yank that transmitter back and save it, right? It worked, but there was...
Well, just truth be told, that's kind of the obnoxious approach. We had the safe button at the ready. So typically we'd have someone, we'd hold the transmitter with our finger near the safe button. If they got it in hand, we'd push it, it'd level off. We could correct, give it, and just let go of the button, they'd fly it again. So it wasn't yanking it out of their possession, Fitz. It's like, give me that, what are you trying to do? That's my plane.
Or the infamous Fitz reach around.
Oh, yeah.
Hey. If it's crazy and it works, if it's creepy and it works.
Here's this guy going up saying, "Excuse me, sir, what are you doing to my wife?"
I'm next in line. So obviously that was not ideal, but we made it work. And then last year we brought our own buddy boxes, or our own master transmitters with cables. Or did any of us use wireless last year? I had a cable. And
I did, because I had my DX9. And let me point out, we did this with Plywood Overcast 2 years ago when I bought the DX6. So I have been flying Plywood Overcast on a buddy box.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was just the smart decision, and we had never done that with the AMA equipment. And last year we hodgepodged it with whatever we had. This year we grabbed all the AMA gear. Kyle Jarris, the education director, purchased more equipment, and Terry and I decided to put it together in a nice package that was way easier to understand and hand out to, by the way, hand out to people who just came up to help us, fly.
Right.
Mike.
So, right. He's on my list to talk about.
Right.
But so basically we went from the single transmitter per airplane. And if I haven't mentioned yet, Aero Scouts are our primary vehicle here. And now we have a dedicated master controller and... Can I say it? Can I say the word?
Yes.
And a dedicated slave controller. Okay, I'm all right. So we have a turnkey setup for these airplanes that wherever they get taken to and used, it's all right there and automatic. And there's even a checklist on the back that tells you where the switches should be, what you need to look for before each flight. So it's just better prepared for whatever comes up, and there's a lot less guesswork. So this all started with me saying we invested some time to get that all set up, and it really paid off for us. If nothing else, just in the feeling of that event each night at Oshkosh of tackling, lots and lots of students there. All right, so we have a lot of things, obviously, that we want to talk about related to Oshkosh. But before we get into all that, while Lee and I were here in Green Bay having all sorts of fun, Fitz, you were having all sorts of fun several hours east of us in Cleveland with fun people doing fun things with fun toys. So can you tell us about that, Funly?
Yes, indeed. I'll try to do as funly as I can. So yes, I was up in Cleveland for just over a week. I was there for a work meeting, but it was my first time there too, which was kind of neat. But we had a previous guest, the Niezgodas, father Steve and son Jack, on our show. So some time ago, a year ago. Yeah, they were known for building their own designs out of foam board, aka the flight test style of aircraft.
Well, we talked about them more recently because we mentioned their release of the 109 kit.
That's right. Yeah. Yes, and in fact, you'll see that. And so I got there on the very day that they launched their website to start selling those kits.
Oh,
which was really neat, great timing. And so they were generous enough to pick me up at the airport and spend a good part of the day there at their place, hanging out with them, playing with toy airplanes and just hanging out. And it was really, really great to meet them in person, and fantastic guys. I really enjoyed my stay with them. And so they showed me around a bit, which is really nice. And so this picture you see here is their laser cutter, which they haven't had all that long. And they're going to be using, they are using it really to cut out their kits out of foam board. And they are pretty adept at using it, especially Jack. Jack was a maestro in this thing. Both in the drawing and operation. So it was really neat to see them in work. This is a big CO2 laser. I think it's around 80 watts-ish, if I remember correctly. So it's got a good power output, and it cut. They found a technique to cut through foam board really, really nicely. So that was great to see that.
Yeah, I've heard that can be tricky because it's got the thick paper outer shell, then the not dense foam, and yeah.
Yes, without getting too much detail, it takes multiple passes at different settings and speeds and stuff. So it's a bit of it's not intuitive in a way. So you really have to get it down, Pat, and how you do it.
Yeah.
I went down into their workshop a bit. They have several workshops, but this is one of the ones that you see on their videos. They have a YouTube channel, and they're getting prepared. They're actually just barely on the right. You can see some stacks of boxes. Those are the kits or part of kits for this 109 that's on the table. So the very first model that they're cutting and selling is this 109E model with some really neat features on it. And I think this is their pre-production model that they have, and we ended up going out and flying that. And they have a painted up version too that's really nice. I'll show you that in a second. So of course that's Steve on the right, Jack on the left. And it was really neat to see the workshop. It's very cool, interesting things they got kind of hanging around there. Get my mouse here. On the wall, they had a couple of signs. One is their website, squadron.com. And on this one, I had to take a picture. I had a close up. The sign, measure once, cuss twice. I really like that. That's a great sign.
Yeah.
Their 109, this is the just up version. I have other pictures of it, but this is what Steve did. He really dressed it up, and it looks way, way nicer than any foam board plane has any right to look. It's just fantastic. The panel lines, weathering, 3D printed wheels with inset wheel wells. Really, really nice.
Wait, whoa. Okay, the wheels are just aesthetic. Those aren't.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's nice though. I mean, it looks really cool.
It looks really cool. Yeah, they don't work. They're not retractable or extendable, but it
I know, but he put a lot of effort to doing that. So it's really nice.
Yes, it's beautiful. You see another picture later.
I mean, in his defense, he could save on filament by just doing half a wheel.
Yes.
You just
Did you hear that, Steve? He's like going brilliant.
So we grabbed a bunch of planes and head out to this flying field, which is pretty nice. A little bit of a drive. I think it took us about 40 minutes to get there, roughly. But it's a nice grass field with run stations and flight stations, that kind of stuff. And I think there was one or two people there when we got there. Nice. You have to know it's there. It's certainly not. You're not going to see it from the road, but it was once we went down the river and through the woods. We found it. It was really nice. Here's a quick pick of all the planes. They have brought out quite a few planes. You've got the 2109s, the Betty, of course, a Stuka dive bomber, which was actually pretty nice, rather large. P-61 Black Widow, and way in the back, it's a J2M Raiden, aka the Jack.
Hey, Steve, are you going to 3D print a siren for the dive bomber?
I think they talked about it.
That'd be great.
They actually did some dive.
Are you approved to release these photos, Fitz? There's nothing top secret here?
There's nothing top secret here. I did see some top secret stuff, and I've been sworn to secrecy. So, but I did not take a picture, or you can't, or at least I didn't put them in this folder. So you're not going to see them. This was out for the public. There were several other people there, so this is certainly not secret. Most of these planes, I think, the 2109s, of course, are selling. The Betty's been known for a while. P-61's been alive for a while.
Yeah.
I think the Stuka may be the newest, but I think they've had plans for that for a while. Yeah. If I made a mistake, sorry, Steve. I didn't know if the Stuka was secret or not, but who knows? Of course, the Betty. I had to. They let me fly the Betty, and I just had to because I needed to. I needed that in my life. This, of course, the Betty is the Mitsubishi G4 Betty bomber, very famous for catching fire and crashing, which is, if you look at it wrong. But it was their mainstay bomber in World War II for the Japanese, one of them. There's another G3, I guess is another one. So anyways, there's a quick video, I don't know if you can see it, of them launching the Betty. I didn't realize it, but it has differential thrust on it.
Oh, all right.
It's kind of neat. So it doesn't take much to launch it. You just kind of... just launch it. Don't think about it. A second, and it goes up.
Very nice.
Yeah, and these foam bore planes are fairly light, so you don't need to scream. This one flew okay. If it was mine, I'd probably get a little more power to it, but it flew very honestly, and they let me. Jack launched it, but he gave me the sticks pretty shortly after, and I had a good old time flying it around.
Cool.
So yeah, it was really neat to see that. I have plans for this. I just need to get around to building it.
Well, this is another one that's a beauty. Everything they have that they've taken the trouble of painting, they've taken the trouble of painting superbly.
Yes,
So the 109 looks great, but it is not unique among their fleet and great-looking airplanes.
No. Close up with the Jack. He let me fly that too, and I really like that plane. That plane is really
I really
nice.
like this.
I like it. I like it a lot.
And it's just crazy because go back for a second. Look at that airplane. Sure. There is not one straight line at all in that whole airframe. It's one compound curve from nose to tail.
Yes.
And he made it with foam board.
And I was just fascinated by their design. I kept asking him, well, how do you do this? How do you figure this out? How do you measure this? How do you figure out the compound curves? And to my surprise, it wasn't a whole lot of math and physics. It was like, we just kind of cut it out and trial and error, and we see what works, what doesn't work, and we sketch it out on the computer, and just like that. Like, okay. I think they've just done so many of these; it's sort of second nature to them.
Yeah.
But for us coming in cold, it's like, man, that means it looks like a whole lot of work to go into design this, and they do all this in CAD for the most part. Or at least partially, or eventually it gets into CAD, where a CAD-like program.
Yeah.
So, like I said, the Raiden is very curvy and tubby, like a Japanese P-47. And I had a chance to see Jack tinker around in the computer, and he's just, it's like watching an expert pianist or something. He just kind of just goes in and digs in and just like, I'm going to do this, I'll stretch this and do that. And just like that. I mean, it takes time, but they obviously know what they're doing.
When I was his age, I had no level of expertise like that in anything.
Yes. Kudos to, I mean, Daddy Steve is also, is a graphic artist by trade, so he knows the programs very well. He can kind of teach his son, but I was really impressed with Jack's engineering mind, for lack of a better term, and his prowess with using the laser cutter and the software, and really, the he's an adult in the kid body almost. He's really great kid to talk to and really sharp.
I think technically he's an adult now.
Well, yes, true. He's in college now, so yeah, he's an adult.
I think he's even drinking age. So, did you buy him a beer?
No, I didn't buy him a beer. I don't think he drinks. But
okay, well.
But anyways, that's our first father. So, but there's a part 2 to this. So, anyways, real quick, so I don't want to bog you down too much. I thought this was neat. Where I was having a meeting was right on the Cleveland airport, and in our meeting room we could oversee the airport. And so we're trying to have this meeting, and I'm being distracted by all these cool airplanes taking off and landing. We're literally right outside the window.
Yeah.
And it was really neat to see all kinds of cool stuff. At one point, I pulled up ADSB Exchange so I could see what was coming in and out, so I knew when to look out.
Hey, everybody, look what's coming in
the middle of your presentation.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it wasn't too much of anything military or anything. It was just mainly, it was civilian stuff. But every once in a while, something cool come in. An unusual business jet or something like that would pop in, or that kind of stuff. But I just thought it was a neat picture, a neat thing, that was really cool.
That reminds me of
next one.
Hey,
yeah.
That reminds me of when I was at Embry-Riddle. I don't know if those classrooms are still there, but there used to be these weird hexagonal buildings that had classrooms, and they were right next to the runway fence of one of the runways there. And you could hear stuff coming and going, and it was not uncommon for somebody to bolt out of the classroom to go see what's out of the runway. It may have been me.
Terry, I'm sorry to inform you.
Did they tear those rooms down?
I'm sorry to inform you they're gone. They tore them down,
Those were the most
those weird,
oddly
octagonal buildings.
Yeah, and you would think they divided them into even wedges, but I don't remember wedges. They were just weird shaped rooms on the inside too.
They were weird, and if you got in late, sometimes you get a bad seat and you're looking at the chalkboard at some weird angle.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, enough.
Anyways, memories. But the computer labs were there. I spent a lot of time in the computer labs in those buildings.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, enough of that. Enough of work. So I didn't realize it because I'm slow. Is that the Cleveland airport was really a hotbed of air racing back in the day.
The Cleveland air races were in Cleveland?
Yeah, I know.
Huh.
So, yeah, who would have thunk? So they actually have a museum in Cleveland. It's an auto and air museum. It's mainly an auto museum with a couple of token airplanes in it. But there are some gems in there. They've got this, I don't know if this is a Wendell Williams or I forgot what this was called. You recognize this one? Something Hornet?
Oh, I'm showing my ignorance here.
Oh.
All right. So, yeah.
Roscoe Turner's something. But anyway, it's a racer.
Yeah. So, you internet nerds, tell us. I want the internet nerds out there to tell us what we're getting wrong here. So.
It's kind of copper color.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I forgot to take a picture of black or gold copper.
Yeah,
it was an interesting color. These all look like real planes. They had several planes. They had 2 or 3 different racers. They had a P-51 for some reason, a Curtiss Pusher, on floats, a gondola from a blimp, and a bunch of memorabilia. And it had like a piston signed by Jimmy Doolittle and some other stuff in there, some old trophies, and it was pretty neat. If you're in the area, it's worth a trip. I'm not going to show you all the pictures, but the auto museum is actually really quite good. And I didn't realize it, but there were like 4 or 5 auto companies in Cleveland at one point, and so they had a lot of samples of vehicles, real cars that were built in Cleveland.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it was really neat. And I also took some time the following weekend to jet down to the Air Force Museum. I finally got to see the X-Plane exhibit, which I missed last time I was there. So this is in Dayton, Ohio, of course. It was a little bit of a drive, about 3 hours from where I was, where I met up with our old pal.
What's
We'll
his
call him
name,
Andy.
Fitz?
Just call him. We'll call him
I was about
Andy
to call him
Drain.
somebody else.
Adam.
Miss Adam Drain.
Adam.
Yes.
There you go.
I was about to call him somebody else. My mind just flipped. So Adam Drain, of course, we've known him for a long time. Mr. B-17. So he was nice enough to meet up with me. And so we hung out for the day. It was really cool. He's got his, of course, 13th Squadron shirt on. And so we ran around the Air Force Museum and just took a couple of pictures. This is a MiG that was used to defect to America. And the pilot became one of my teachers. So
What?
that's cool to see. I told you that story before.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. You might have had one of his classes too, Terry.
Maybe, but
He taught thermodynamics and strength. What was it? Not strength materials, structures, some sort of structures class, and maybe some other stuff.
no, I don't remember his name. But my thermodynamics guy was not. Was this pilot Vietnamese?
Yeah, Korean.
Korean. Okay. Yeah, he was a white dude.
Okay,
So-
no, this okay. So I had him. He was a Korean guy, and I have his book. He autographed for me, and he literally stole this MiG. He said, "I want to go this way." He went the other way, landed downwind an American base right at the end of the war. Said, "I give up. Here's a nice new plane. I've had enough of this crap."
So this is a MiG-15, and this happened in Korea.
I'm sorry, I should explain it. Yeah, what I'm showing is a MiG-15.
Okay.
A real MiG-15 sitting there. It's number 2057. No Kum Suk was his name. We call him Professor Rowe. And it was pretty cool. I think it was next to F-86 on the other side.
That would make
And
sense.
it was great. It was kind of a big coup because at the time they didn't have a MiG. And so they did all kinds of flight testing. Chuck Yeager tried to break it. So it was great to have an actual example of a MiG that's in flyable condition. And he got a reward for it. He didn't know there was a reward, but ended up getting one. Came to America, became an American citizen, got a degree in something, worked for GE for a bit, if I remember correctly, and became an instructor in his sort of retirement age.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, so it's like, there it is, it is Blaine. I think this statue is supposed to be him standing next to it.
Right.
So, great story. Look it up. He has a book. It's called MiG-15 to Freedom, if I remember correctly.
Huh. All right.
So Adam and he knows these guys. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We went off to, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, Terry, this is
that Radical? Okay, Radical RC.
what was known as Radical RC. So here's the opening to what was Radical RC. I didn't realize it, apparently they've been sold a bit. And so there's new owners. Come on.
So I knew they were
And
up.
so what was
the
this
business was up for sale for a while, but I didn't realize it had been sold.
Apparently so. Now, they still have their website and they're still selling on things online, but they've got a fairly large hobby shop now. I think this is probably 2 or 3 times bigger than what the old hobby shop they had. And it's still fairly close to the Air Museum. It's not quite across the street anymore, but it was not that far away. Something like a 5-minute drive or something like that.
Yeah.
And so they had a lot of stuff. They had a lot of RC planes, some plastic models, just a lot of stuff hanging from the ceiling. It was pretty decent. It's worth a trip to go over there and see what they have. A lot of the Radical RC stuff wasn't out because I asked for a couple things. The guy had to go in the back and said, "Yeah, we don't have these on display. You got to kind of go in the back and grab the stuff. I guess it's on shelves or something like that."
It's like
they were
back room at the video store. You got to go behind the beaded curtain.
yeah, really adults only.
Yeah.
But it was still neat to go in there and look around a little bit. I did get a couple of things from them.
Cool.
So we also stopped by MTS Aviation. Adam is a big proponent. He loves these guys. He's real friends with them. They're known mainly for desktop models of aircraft.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot. This is just part of the store. They probably got thousands of models of whatever you want. If you need a 747 in Turkish livery, you probably have it there somewhere. You need Walla 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 Airlines in a 707, it's probably there somewhere. It was really impressive. I don't think I have a picture of it, no. But they also have a bunch of plastic models. I ended up picking up a plastic model from them as well. They had to buy out collections and stuff. So it's really neat. So this is just, you can see the shelves are just stacked with models of everything and desktop models. So it's pretty cool. They're nice guys.
Yeah, I know Adam, every year that we're at Oshkosh, Adam says, you got to go by the, what do they call that place at Oshkosh flea.
The flea market
Yeah.
area?
Is that what they call it?
Something like that.
Fly market.
Fly
market. Okay,
so,
yeah, fly.
So apparently that guy has a big booth set up there, and Adam's always saying, you got to go there and check it out and say hi, and tell him Adam sent you. Well, at 3 years, I'm 0 for 3. So Adam, I'm sorry, I'll make it happen sooner or later. But
I did swing by last year when I was there.
Okay.
Over there, and they were doing pretty good business.
All right, good.
He was saying that they bought a lot of stuff to bring to Oshkosh, so they apparently do a lot of business. I forgot the exact story on this. As we're driving to where I'll show you later in a second, there is a guy who apparently bought a real Huey helicopter, stuck it on a pole, and has like a coffee shop in the back called Huey's. And it was, he told me the story. I forgot the details of it, but I thought it was funny. You drive by, you see a giant Huey helicopter on a pole, and in the back, I said, "That's pretty clever."
And his last name is Cessna.
Cessna, yeah. Little Cessna. Come to Huey's. All right, real quick, let me go back. So, of course, Adam, I think you've been here, Lee. We went down to the Champaign Aviation Museum.
Yeah, I've heard of that place.
Yeah, we had to go. It was kind of on my way back. So, this is where Adam does some work. Restoring in a loose term. I'll show you in a second. They have a really cool museum. There's the flight trainer. What was it called? Link. World War II Link flight trainer, a real one.
Yeah.
That was in really good shape. Here's a shot of the hangar. So you have a B-25, those DC-3, and of course the B-17 that they're restoring. Now I say restoring, it's more like remanufacturing. They're doing a lot of work. They're basically rebuilding the wings, and I think they rebuilt a good chunk of the tail. It's a lot of work that they're putting into this thing, so they might as well be almost building a new one. But it looks like they're making really good progress. And
yeah,
so
it's been a while since I was there, but it does seem much further along from what I remember. What do you think?
Oh, good. Yeah, they're doing really. They got the wings up on fixtures that they're riveting in the skins and whatnot, working on the tanks. It's funny, you walk around, they have B-17 parts all over the place. Here's some cowl, here's some engines, here's some wheels, here's some thermostats and some thingamajigs. They go on to the discombobulator. There's a lot of cool stuff just walking around. But this was a nice shot, I thought, of the whole setup. Yep. And it was just really neat there's some really dedicated guys doing this kind of stuff. So if you're in the area or stop by, give them your regards and maybe make a donation or something, because they're really, really doing a lot of work. So really cool to see Adam on that. I'm sorry.
Did you climb into the ball turret?
I did not. Oh, wait. We opened it up and looked into it.
Yeah, that's the best I could do too. Yeah, I looked inside. I'm like, there's no way.
It is for the hike challenge to get in that thing.
Yeah.
And which was understood had really happened. They chose the shorter guys in World War II to get into those things.
Yeah, you would have to be part acrobat, part masochist to get in that thing.
Part horse jockey.
Yeah.
Did you see that statistically the ball turrets have the highest survival rate other than the pilots?
Okay.
Yeah, it was just really interesting. Yeah. But so it was really cool to hang out with Adam. Thanks, Adam. We appreciate it. Great meeting. Hopefully we'll catch up sometime soon. What is neat also, real quick, is there's a submarine there in Cleveland, the USS Cod. And it's a World War II submarine that's seen pretty good, interesting service history. What was neat is you go inside, you walk all the way around it practically. It was really, really, really neat. Again, it's not for the, you've got to be relatively good shape, because there's some climbing and ladders and things you got to duck down and crouching and stuff like that. But it was worth the trip. It was really cool. Right next door, I didn't know, is at the Burke Lake Airport is a little teeny tiny museum of aviation dedicated to women. And so they had a plaque of all kinds of women astronauts and pilots. And there was a couple of airplanes in there. There's this little, I forgot the name. Do you recognize this? Not a Weeks. It's a biplane. It's a kit plane. No, it's a kit plane.
I don't know.
Oh, I forgot the name. Darn it. So anyways, it was a neat little airplane. Is that it? Thought I had more pictures. Because that's it. Huh. Sorry, I thought I'd copy some more stuff over. No, I have more. Why is this? Give me 1 second. I think it didn't recognize all the pictures. I guess it did. I'm sorry. I thought I had another picture. I must have forgot to copy it over. They had another Link trainer. You can just give me off. That was a more modern version I had never seen before. I thought it was kind of neat. It looked like something out of the 60s. I think it was out of the 60s. But it was still a little trainer thing, but it actually had more instruments and looked like a more modern-ish aircraft. Sorry, I forgot to copy it over. It was kind of new. Link, I guess Link made trainers up into the 60s, not just over the really old one. And apparently, it was funny. I was reading the plaque. Those Link trainers, the Link trainer, if you're not familiar with it, was used a lot in World War II to teach pilots basic flight training, and I think instrument training as well. Yeah, they did. They used
I thought it was primarily instrument training.
Yeah, I think it was primarily. You're right. It was primarily instrument training. They look like, it looks kind of like a toy airplane on the outside.
Yeah, you put a quarter in outside the supermarket.
Yes. Well, apparently they started out as that.
Oh, really?
It was a toy. Apparently, he originally wanted to sell them to the military. They weren't all that interested at first, and so he sold them as amusement rides, kind of thing. That you put a quarter in, you fly around, and then eventually they became popular for training. So I did come home with a couple of stuff.
Of course you did.
Got a hat, 13 Squadron hat.
Very nice.
And a shirt.
Nice.
I think you have some of those too, Terry, right?
I do. I've got both, yeah.
Well, not to leave Lee out, I've got extra ones for Lee.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
Thank you.
So when we meet, I've got a hat and a shirt for you.
Well, that's darn swell of you.
No problem. Well,
or Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.
I was just a carrier. And I did come home with something.
Are you going to tell us what it is?
In this flat box, I have one of his, this is actually the first time he cut on the laser, this particular kit.
Ah.
And you want to guess what it is?
It's very round.
Yeah.
Lots of curved edges.
Lots of curved edges. There's a hint.
That's more than a hint.
Yes. I'm holding up the plans. I got one of the Raidens J2M Jack.
Is that actual size?
No. This is just a picture. It's small. It's much bigger than this one. Not a whole lot bigger, but it's bigger. But it
kind of reminds me of your Buffalo. Big fat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, kind of tubby. Yeah, the real one was interesting. They put a really powerful engine on it with an extended drive shaft and stuff. Because they wanted it's an interceptor, so they want a lot of power. So it wasn't maneuverable like a Zero, but it was supposedly could fly higher and faster and whatnot. So anyways, I've been yapping long enough. I want to say a really great thanks to the Newsgotas for hosting me for a bit. I really appreciate it. Had a fantastic time. And hopefully I can see you guys sometime in the future.
All right, cool. I'm glad you were able to do that. Because
so was I.
You told us that you were going to Cleveland. I'm like, oh, did you talk to Steve and Jack yet? You're like, oh, they live in Cleveland?
Yes, thank you. I had completely forgotten they were in Cleveland.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought they were like in Illinois or something like that. I know they're up in the upper Midwest, but I didn't realize it was
it's
Ohio.
all the same.
Yeah,
North
Ohio,
of Kentucky,
Minnesota. It just gets a blur, a blob of states.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. Glad you're able to do it.
But wait, I think it would only be appropriate if I did this. Let's give them a shout out.
Okay.
There we go. We're showing a picture of, is that their website? It is.
Yep.
Sorry,
so
my screen's a little small.
The number 13, so 13thsquadron.com.
Yeah, check them out. They have some videos. They have some kits. They got a really clever motor mount system that they designed. So when I was there, they had just sold their first kit, so they were real pretty happy.
Nice.
And so hopefully, I'll tell you this, they've got lots of plans of stuff. Some really cool stuff, too, that they want to produce. And that's all I can say. So keep an eye on their website for new stuff coming out. They have the 109 is just the preamble. That's just the taste of the kind of stuff they want to produce.
Yeah, I can picture the ninja just around the corner with the poison dart ready for your neck. and their next plane is...
So,
all right, so are we ready to move on?
We are.
Let's move on. So I wanted to talk a fair bit about Oshkosh, but Fitz took up so much of our time here. I think we'll just have to do that in another show.
What?
Just
What?
kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Good.
But I'm going to switch gears a little bit here because we haven't heard Lee's sweet, soulful voice for much of this show at all. So why don't
And the listeners are happy for it.
no.
You guys, this is the episode we've been waiting for.
So why don't you, Mr. Ray, tell us your thoughts on the RC flying this year?
Oh,
And whatever else you want from Oshkosh, but that's what I was going to start with.
Oh, you're talking about RC flying for
At Air Venture, the buddy
At Air
boxing we do in the evenings behind the museum at Pioneer Run. Here I am saying what you need to say.
calm your little butt down. I'm trying to get some pictures ready. Jeez. All right. So it was great. How's that? And I'm just going to share some photos share some photos that our Bryce from AMA took. I wasn't able to take photos. I was either doing training on the first 3 days with my buddy Terry. And what's Mike's last name?
Carson.
Thank you, Mike Carson. Is he officially from Horizon, or is that a second gig for him?
He's not an employee of Horizon. He's a Horizon team pilot.
Thank you. Okay. So I don't know his background. All I know is that Mike came in, he said, "Hey, y'all need some help." And he was great. So
Well, sort of. I'll give you
Well, then why am I talking, Terry? Just say what you want to say.
I'm just filling in the gaps here. So we knew that Fitz wasn't going to make it this year. So we were down one trainer pilot. We like to have three because there's so many people there wanting flights. And so I was reaching out to people in the weeks leading up to this. Nobody could, nobody would, blah, blah, blah. And then somebody threw Mike's name out there. And so I texted him, and I never met the guy before in my life. And he lives down by Milwaukee. And where is it? Wausau? Anyway, down near Milwaukee. Send him a text message. 10 seconds later, got a response. Yep, I'd love to do it. Count me in. And so we met him that first Monday night, and he was a champ. And Lee, take it away from there.
That's it. I'm done. So yes, we had Mike out there, and I'm going to add a quick note here if you guys can see. But this again, kudos to Bryce from AMA for sharing these photos. He's got a lot more. I'm just sharing the ones he shared with us in a meeting. And Terry came up with a brilliant idea. Not only did we do the buddy box and fix that and color code everything and come up with some other, Terry came up with a checklist to attach to the transmitter. But Terry, I guess on Monday said, "Do you think these planes could use streamers?" And we were absolutely okay.
You know I'm an interrupter. Deal with it. The idea came because there were like 5 Aero Scouts in the sky at once. Now, go ahead.
He just left.
Oh, I made him mad.
Oh, he's back. Okay.
Here, I have a plan. Here's my next idea.
I'm actually trying to give Terry credit for something, and he interrupted me. Yeah. So
he just duct taped his mouth shut. Okay, he's good.
Crazy. This is crazy that he would interrupt his own compliment. I am just saying, Fitz, if you look in this photo right here, Terry came up with the idea is like, we should put streamers on these aircraft to identify them. So we had different colored streamers. And in fact, at one point we had a plane that had 2 streamers on the wingtip. So they were different. It was easier for the people to identify the aircraft.
Yeah, that's pretty sharp. That's pretty
there
clever,
you go.
Mr. Bond.
Kudos to my buddy Terry. So anyway, just sharing that in this photo. No, shut up. I'm just going to mute Terry.
Of course, it's all fun and games until combat starts, right?
Exactly. All right, take it off, Terry.
Are you sure?
I don't know. We'll find out. Okay. I have a button here that says remove from scene and disconnect. So, got my finger.
Check for the stream presidents.
So, did you want to add to the streamer comment, Terry?
No, I said all I need to say about that.
Okay. Are you done with any other future comment about a picture I'm going to show?
I don't know what you're going to show, so we'll see.
I think all the question was, Lee, do you want to talk about RC flying?
I should have asked, do you want to say what I wanted to say?
Exactly.
And the way I was going to say it.
Anyway, we had some people there. This woman came with her hat with all her pins. That was really neat to see.
She saturated with pins.
She did. But do you see the new pin we had, Fitz, right here? I don't know if I'm going to zoom in even more. But
AMA.
We made pins that said RC Pilot AMA 2025 AirVenture.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
I've got like 2 pins in my 13th Squadron hat. I've got 2, maybe 3 pins now. And that thing is heavy. I can't imagine how much this hat weighs. She probably can't hold her head up straight.
She flops down.
I tell you, a lot of people loved getting the pins. They just thought it was the coolest thing to say. You flew at Oshkosh. Here you go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a really cool bonus of flying.
I mean, we can not rumble. We can rumble too. I'm rumbling with Terry right now. We can ramble a lot. I'll try to get through this pretty quickly because I know Terry's got a list. Go ahead.
So I have to ask you, Lee, you spend a good time at the event rolling in the grass or something?
This is Bryce. See, I even said that. You wouldn't even listen. I said,
missed it. Sorry.
Bryce.
Well, I didn't know all of them were Bryce.
Because you knew you were going to talk over me and you knew you didn't want to listen.
I heard you. I just didn't know
Terry, birds of a feather.
I didn't know where Bryce started and you were stopped.
No, I said none of these photos are mine because I was too busy. The first 3 days of flight instructing. Everybody listening heard me. Y'all comment. Let us know. We were very busy, but we also, Fitz, you were there for the 2 blimps, right? I mean, the blimps, the Goodyear blimps one year.
I don't remember the blimps, to be honest with you.
Were you not flying with us one year when the blimp was overhead?
Maybe. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So this year we had 2 blimps flying overhead. So it was fun to tell the pilots, let's not hit the blimps.
Yeah, there were times they were pretty low and right over us.
Yeah, we had about a 200 foot limit, and that's where we try to keep it.
Yeah.
But this was,
I think, bounce off anyways.
Yeah, let's not go. So this was Friday. This was last day. So I was flight boss. There might be a picture with me. We had a guy hand launching an F-18.
Wow.
This is a photo that everybody at AMA. Oops, hello. I just lost. Let me go back here. There we go. There we go. That everybody has enjoyed seeing.
Yeah, see photo.
You don't see
Terry
a photo?
looking up and the little kid. Yeah, I see it. Terry and the little kid looking up with almost the same angle on their head. Like
Terry doesn't like it. His tongue is sticking out too. But Terry's not a fan. But I will tell you that is a great photo of Terry working with a young kid. What's his name? You mentioned his name.
I believe it was Corey.
Yeah,
and he could not stand still. He was so excited. He was jumping and bouncing.
But how old do you think he was? He looks really young.
Yeah, but his dad's standing right there. This kid's got a great, they're having a great conversation, and that's a future RC pilot, right?
Yeah. I'm not a good judge of age anymore because my kids are older, but I would say 3 or 4 probably.
That's a little guy. Really young. Yeah.
So anyway, it was good times.
So Kyle Jarris, our education director, he was there giving flight training on Friday. And he was great. I mean, actually, you, Mike, and Kyle were awesome, Terry. I always went up there to check on you guys, see if you needed a battery or something, but you guys kept things going and people smiling.
Yeah. And we probably praised him last year, but Jeff, our battery guy. Jeff Lee. Yep. Johnny on the spot. We went through some batteries because we had 3 of us going at a time through these flights, and Jeff was charging the batteries for us, and he kept it going.
Well, I want to say, Jeff, I like Jeff a lot, and he and I were working together on making sure we had all the chargers. We were missing one the first few days, so we got everything back in order. We labeled everything, which was helpful. He brought things home at night to make sure he checked all the batteries, so he was working after hours. And I brought my charger because some people needed a different charger. Plus, I could also charge the batteries with my extra charger. But I also want to do a shout out for a couple other people. By the way, this is the kind of smiles we saw. I have a fun story to share with you guys about my experience, but that lady's smile reminds me of someone I shared a flight with too. Adam Woodworth was there, and so he flew.
I was wondering who's going to come. Oh, look at that! It looks like 2 TIE fighters and the 3rd TIE fighter in the middle.
Yeah,
neat.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Sorry,
and,
Star Wars gets my attention.
So again, other shout outs. First off, Kenny Cassidy, he is helping people sign up and sign in. Mark Benson, my boss, he was there calling people's names out, interacting with folks. And my son, Austin, he basically was there to just interact with folks who were there to fly and see if they needed something. So a couple of times there were people that said, "Hey, I need a tool," and I would direct them to Austin, and he would help them out. And bless his heart, he would help charge batteries, he would help fix things, he would find tools, and I never once had to ask him twice. So he was really active in that. Now, yes, he did get to fly, so I'm glad he got to take a couple of his planes out. But it was neat to just have kids his age, come up to him and interact versus an older person try to, I don't want to say talk down to them, but just I think they felt better. And so having him talk to them and interacting, I mean, I just saw him chewing the talk, with RC with some people. So it was all good. But the story I wanted to share, this is fun. Fitz, you this may affect you and I. He's like, what? I met a gentleman, I think his name was Rob. He is from Spring, Texas, and he is an RC pilot. And my introduction to him was that he had signed up to fly, or I take that back. He was sitting near the training area. This is maybe Wednesday, Terry. And he was sitting with a couple of people, and it was near the end of the day. And I said, "Hey, do you want to fly?" And he goes, "Well, only if you can give me 4S. That's the first thing. I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, what do you need 4S? He goes, I don't want to fly that if I can't put a 4S in it. I said, have you ever flown an Aero Scout? And he goes, no. I said, hold on a second. So we didn't have anybody signed up. I grabbed a fresh battery. I said, look, I'll give you 3.5S. It's like, let's. And he begrudgingly said, okay, well, I know how to fly. I said, well, how about I get you up in the air? I'll see what you can do. I'll give you expert mode. And very quickly, I could tell this guy knew what to do. And I had my finger on the button the whole time. He was very good, and we had a good laugh. We had a good talk, and and then we started finding out, hey, I fly at Scobie. I fly at Scobie. I've been flying for so many years. I've been flying for so many years. Do you know the jet guys? I'm like, I know some of the jet guys. I asked, do you know Fitz Walker? He goes, who's Fitz Walker? It's like, you don't know Fitz Walker. So I was like, just talking all about
Finally.
I said, like, we'll probably be there. We do reviews there all the time. I had a decent conversation, but this is the piece to resist on. A woman came up behind him, and it was his wife. And she goes, oh, well, how's it going, dear? And he goes, oh, this is fine. It's a cute little Aero Scout. He turned to me and says, I've never flown an Aero Scout. She goes, oh, what's an Aero Scout? I said, what's this plane up here? She goes, well, that looks like fun. And he literally did the old, you've never said that about my flying. And she goes, well, that's a cute little plane. And I said, well, he was like getting enraged because you've never talked about my hobby. And she goes, oh, that's a cool plane. She goes, I said, well, would you like to fly it? She goes, I can fly it. And he goes, you've never asked to fly an RC plane. I said, if you land, and he did, he landed it by himself. I said, I'll go get you a new battery. We'll fly together. And I saw him talking with her. She goes, oh, I want to try this. I got her in the air, and she was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And he was like, I can't believe this is happening. He was like, my wife, she had never flown. This guy is a pilot. Wow. He's probably asked her several times, and she's flying an Aero Scout with me. And I looked over at him and said, I did this. And she came down with a smile, and they were both laughing. And it's like, she just never had the interest. I said, you get to buy her an Aero Scout so you two can fly together at Scobie. And that's how I left it. But it was just the coolest interaction I had, because it's just, for me, it was weird that he never gave her the opportunity, or she never had an interest, maybe because of the size planes he has. But when she flew the Aero Scout, which she was very good, she's just like, this is so cool. This is so much fun. I didn't think it would be like this. And she goes, it's such a cute little plane, all that kind of stuff.
So I had a few similar instances, and I tried to drive it that direction. Often a family would come over, and their intent is to put the kid on the sticks. And then when the kid's done, I'm like, hey, mom, dad, get over here. Everybody gets to try it. And they weren't expecting to do that. And a lot of them were very reluctant. Like, no, I don't want to crash your airplane. I'm like, nope. First of all, that's not going to happen. Second of all, if it does happen, it's my fault, because I'm the one running the show here. And everybody did it, and everybody walked away like, oh, that was so much better than I expected it to be. I can actually control this thing. It's not black magic. Yeah,
the buddy box was a great help. I mean, I know you flew a lot of more people than I did. I was only there Monday and Wednesday. No, wait, did I stay?
You did.
I guess
Monday, Tuesday,
I did.
Wednesday, right?
It just felt like you guys were flying way more than me. I mean, you flew all week, so.
Yeah, well,
but I mean, gosh, Friday was crazy. We had
Friday
over
was bonkers.
It was bonkers good. It was
really busy,
bonkers fulfilling. We had over 200 pilots register to fly. And I think on Friday we had over 50 people fly buddy box.
Over 60. I think it was
60 people.
66.
Over,
Wow.
I said over
So
50. I was still not wrong, Terry.
Well, no, I'm specifying. God, you're still bitter. And that's 3 pilots in under 2 hours. So we started at, I don't know, 6:15 or something. We go till it's too dark, which is around 8:15. And then Wing does their drone delivery demo somewhere in the middle. So, yeah, it was, once we started, we were in a nice steady jog the whole time. And the night goes by like that. And I think we should also mention Wednesday and Thursday, because we started again around 6:15 or so, and then there's just this black wall off to the west of us, and it's coming this direction.
I have that. I have those pictures. You want to see them?
Yeah. Oh, before.
Yeah. Hold on a second. I gotta close this screen out. So this is what the sky looked like, Fitz.
Wow.
Yeah.
Storms
Yeah.
are coming.
Yeah.
Was that
And by the way,
Wednesday?
I think this is the rain. So what is it? This would have been
That would have
Thursday.
been Thursday, yeah.
Yeah. So Kyle Jares is out there with the one wheel, with Austin's one wheel, just having fun. And then the rains hit. Can you see that, Fitz?
Oh,
you see
man.
this rain coming down on us? But look at
Yeah,
these people
you guys-
smiling. I got to tell you, this was a great group. Because we had
You're
so
all
much
huddled
fun.
in the tents there.
We are.
Wow.
And I was just soaking wet. I accidentally walked through the gap between 2 tents, and it was just focusing like a funnel. It just,
Just get
it just-
blasted.
I just gave up. But this kid was good. A lot of people stuck around. Thank goodness.
Yeah, how long
And
did it last? Oh, here's
It's Tyler, Kenny,
Yeah,
and
Tyler.
Bryce. And
Yeah,
then
it
the
was-
skies opened up. I kid you not. This is like 15 minutes later, maybe
Yeah.
10.
Wow.
Well, I think
It
we
is-
probably had a 30-minute delay from the time we hunkered down until we were able to go back out.
Yes. But it
Interesting.
opened up. This guy brought his chair. I mean, literally, the skies to your right were pitch black. And then this is, of course, facing west.
It's just
But
You'll notice in some
storm
photos
cloud.
I'm barefoot because there were puddles everywhere. I'm like, I'm just going to get my shoes and socks soaking wet. So I just took them off and put them in the car.
it was
Walked-
great.
Yeah,
Huh.
it was. The wind died. It got super nice after that. So
Yeah, there you
can
go.
see I'm barefoot there. And
I'm
my back
barefoot.
is just soaked. And yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was a great night. And both Wednesday and Thursday, everybody was saying, yeah, we're probably gonna have to cancel this. This weather does not look good. We can't fly in this. And then Wednesday, I don't think we got any rain, but it came through and then it left and it was nice. And then Thursday, it just dumped on us and then it was nice. So couldn't have asked for better. And then Friday, it was nice from start to finish and great crowds. Flight test came and flew with us.
Well, if you hold, I was about to share that video. So
Okay.
1 second here.
All right.
So this is a little, I'm not going to play the music, but this is a video, Fitz, if you can see and watch, it's just how
Yeah.
busy we were. I don't know if you caught this.
Yeah, I see it. It's running pretty smoothly for me.
Oh, I didn't
Wow.
know if you saw the video before,
Oh, not this one.
but look at the standing room.
Wow,
I mean,
that's a lot of people there.
we were packed.
You got to start charging money for this.
That's Austin's Futura.
For sure. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just enough runway for it.
And our great trainers,
Yeah, look at that.
Kyle, Terry, and Mike.
Yeah.
Look at that shirt.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to mention that. There's one of those, is it the Flight Test B-17 or something?
Yeah.
Yep.
I had to do a weight check on it because our flight rule is 6 pounds. I was like, it's close enough. It didn't feel heavier than my Tiger Cat, so I let it pass. But EAA Media was there too, so we're
Ooh,
hoping we'll get to
fancy.
see some highlight reels.
Yeah.
Oh,
of the
is that
stuff,
who that
papers.
was?
Yeah,
I saw him walking around, but I didn't know who they were with.
yeah. We had a great conversation. Look at this pan, Fitz. Can you imagine?
Look at that.
That's amazing.
That seems more than last time, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, look at that. That's wow.
So from my recollection, last year, Monday was kind of a slow start and it built up and kept going. But this
Yeah.
year, Monday, we hit the ground running. People were
Really?
waiting to sign
Whoa,
up.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's different.
And every night was like that. So, yeah, it was
Wow.
awesome. And
The word's gotten out, I guess, huh?
I hope so. Yeah. Phil Hinkle showed up. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but he has an Aero Scout with landing gear on the stock landing gear and an extra set on the wing, so he can land.
Oh,
it
I did see a
inverted.
picture of that.
I have a
Yeah.
photo. I have a photo, and I'll share it later.
So he
Did
was
you do
out
some
there with
inverted
that.
takeoffs or anything?
I don't think he did because we had the Petromat runway, which is kind of squishy. It's just temporarily stapled down.
Oh, let me do a little
So-
marketing here. my EAA cup. It's a very nice thing. And I'm wearing my EAA shirt.
Mr. EAA.
The official Oshkosh AirVenture shirt.
So you're going to talk about your EA speech?
I can, unless Terry's going to interrupt.
Let me check the list.
Yeah. He's probably going to say, is it on there?
Where's my eraser?
Hey, Fitz, I guess not.
So, yeah, I'll let you talk about your precious little speech.
Yeah.
but while we're doing endorsements, I think we should throw out a raving endorsement for Lincoln Electric Welders.
Oh, do I have that picture? Hold on. All right, let me pull it up.
This episode sponsored by Lincoln.
It should be. It should be. I got it right here. Good timing.
They can do it.
Good timing, Terry, because I do have it up. Let's see. Is it? Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Let me remove that one. It's that one. Why is this? There we go. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so Terry and I are walking from Blue Barn. We're heading to Boeing Plaza, and if you know where it is. But I'm walking along, and the handle comes. Well, it starts wobbling to the point where I pulled it down, and it breaks off. The handle for this cart breaks off, and Terry's like, "What do we do?" I said, "You know what? I know there's a welding company, a welder supply company. I think it's pretty sure it's Lincoln Electrical, and I think it's back here." So Terry was kind enough to pull this little extra handle that was there. We came across. We told them our sob story, and they sure enough, they welded my handle back on.
Oh, awesome!
We had just passed the tent, and
yeah.
I was reluctant because it was about 1,000 degrees outside, and I was just sweaty and hot, and I'd already been walking around. I'm like, oh, God, Lee, really? You think they're going to weld that for you? They don't even have power in the tent. And then we got close. We see these giant power lines leading up to the tent. Like, oh, well, maybe they do have power.
I mean, so he put it all over the joint. He double welded it for me.
Yeah, it's better than new, huh?
Yeah, and it held up. I don't know if you can see. You really can't tell. And then that's us giving us, a little. I did a shout out. I actually tagged Lincoln Electric, excuse me, and I thanked him for helping us out. But as Terry said, it's a good chance that people come over there to ask them to weld stuff because they had 2 stations up, to do stuff and also have demonstrations.
Can you imagine next year a guy brings up a frame from an airplane, like a full size one?
No, he said they had been fixing parts, like airplanes.
Fixing parts, yeah.
So, I just thought this is their trade show setup where they have, unplugged samples of everything, which they did have. They had all, floor models out, but they had that rig in the back with a 240 volt line running to it.
Wow.
Now,
I want to add this one, though. I don't know if it's on your list, but I got to say, if you guys follow our Facebook page, this is one of the greatest things because I got the idea from either Fitz or Terry. I think it was Terry, right? Because we had a group text going on. Terry shared the photo, and I think Terry said, "Lee, you should go take a picture and pretend to be Fitz." So, at first, I was like, "I don't want to do it," but I went back to the tent and I said, "Can I please have a photo taken?" And I typed in Fritz Walker.
So, for the people listening, this is at the Embry-Riddle tent. They have a big display there, a recruiting type thing, and they had a desk there set up for alumni. So I was just wandering around one day looking at stuff. And then I guess I happened upon the alumni side, and the lady asked me, "Oh, are you an alumni?" And it's like, "Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I am." And so she told me they were having a barbecue on Thursday night, and it's right at the time that the RC flying is. But I'm like, you know what? Maybe something weird will happen. Go ahead and sign me up, and I'll make it if I can. And then she asked if she could take my photo. They had a whole wall there where they take these little Polaroid type pictures, and then you sign them, and they put it up on the wall. And that's when this idea was spawned. I'm like, well, Lee, you should come to the barbecue too. Just tell them you're Fitz. They didn't check my ID or anything.
That's where it came from.
They didn't have a big scroll of their alumni. I'm like, yeah, it's not cheating because Fitz isn't here anyway. And then you had the brilliant idea to say you're Fritz. Now, you weren't deceptive, though, because you actually told her your plan up front.
I told her my plan. I said, my buddy couldn't be here. I just want to represent. And she was sweet and very nice. And we took the photo. And I had to misspell your name because I think I told you someone came up to me and said, "I know Fritz Walker." And I hung on to it all day. That's like, I got to use that.
Yeah. So here's the fun
somebody
part.
that actually knew me.
Well, they do know you, but they called you Fritz.
Oh, okay.
I just love that.
So the barbecue was Thursday night, which was the night of the storm that passed through. And that happened right on the front edge of the RC flying. So 6:15, 6:30, whenever it hit. And the barbecue started at, I think, right at 6. So on my way from Boeing Plaza to the RC flying field, which was a good long way, I swung by where the barbecue was going to be. I was going to ask, I got to do this volunteering. Can you give me something a little bit early and I'll be on my way? Well, I got there. There was already a line. And I'm like, forget it. I can't do this. And then we get to the RC flying, and then there's the downpour where we were on hold for 30 minutes. And as we were getting ready to go back out, I'm like, I should have walked over in the rain to the barbecue and got my free loot. But I didn't.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
we ended at 8 something, and I think the barbecue ended at 8 something. So I go over there, and they're packing everything up, and you can still see stacks of things everywhere. And I asked, hey, is it too late to get something? They're like, yeah, get lost, kid. we're done here.
We don't serve your kind.
Yeah. And
no shoes, no service.
So only those who are familiar with the layout of the Oshkosh grounds can appreciate this. But when we were done with the RC flying on Thursday night, I had come in earlier in the day and parked behind the ultralights, which is you cannot get any farther away without leaving the grounds.
The only thing further is the seaplane base.
Right. Or maybe this was that was Wednesday night. Or whatever. It was one of the nights. So I ended up, there was no other transportation going. Sometimes there's golf carts available or the buses and things like that. Nope, all that was shut down. And so I ended up walking from the RC field to the ultralights.
That's a hike.
That parking lot. It was. It took a while, but it was a nice night. And I was walking next to airplanes and airplane people. So how bad can it be? Yeah. So
not bad at all.
Yeah. So speaking of that, and this will be a short deviation. So one of my personal hiccups, a flaw in my character, is that I have real trouble in places like Costco, where if you go there on a Saturday, it's full of people who don't really have any sense of urgency in what they're doing. They're just kind of standing around, waiting for their free samples, leaving the cart in the middle of the aisle. When I go shopping, I'm there to get something. I go where it is, I grab it, and I get the heck out. But most people aren't like that at Costco. So I try to be very strategic about when I go there so I can be efficient.
Are you a gold member or are you an executive member?
Oh, does one of those let you in early or something?
Yes.
Oh.
That's what you need. You need to pay the extra money and get in early with all the other people who's like, I'm coming here early because I want to get in and get out.
Yeah, I would like to meet the guy who decided setting up the samples in the corners was a good idea. Yeah, let's bottleneck this flow as much as we can. But anyway, so I'm admitting that that's my own personal flaw. And as I was walking around, I think it was Wednesday afternoon, when I parked, I also parked down at the ultralights that day. And I thought, I'll just park down there and I'll mosey my way down to the RC field and I'll get to see everything in between. Well, I quickly realized the only thing more congested than a Costco on a Saturday is Oshkosh while the air show's going on. So everybody, they might be walking, but as soon as an airplane flies by or near, everybody stops and looks up. So if you're trying to get somewhere walking, forget about it. There just is no path from here to there. You can't get there from here. So I just had to refocus myself and say my namastes and weave my through. I still got to see and hear a lot of cool stuff, but there was 0 point in trying to be in a hurry. So that's all I have to say about that. I got through it. I shifted my mental state.
Did you go into the hangars this year?
Is that where the booths were set up?
The exhibitors in Four Corners, A, B, C, D hangars.
I don't think I went in. I only went to the Horizon booth, which was outside
the hangar.
Yeah.
I did not go in a hangar this year. That's the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
It's mainly general aviation, bling and stuff, but sometimes they have cool things.
Yeah, I went into a few last year and I don't remember anything particularly compelling for me.
Well, there's this one guy that sells, I think we bought wire strippers there one year.
Oh.
I don't know if you saw the really cool wire strippers. It's a one handle thing. I bought some for the kids, and one guy sells a whole bunch of kind of batteries. So I think Fitz would have liked that.
All right. I've been there 3 times now in this past 3 years. I still haven't made it to the seaplane base. I still haven't been to the fly market that you talked about. So there's
cool.
things that I still haven't done. And yeah.
Have you ever been to the seaplane base?
No, never.
Really?
Sea base.
Huh. Yeah.
I went Saturday with Austin.
Yeah. So it was a little bit different for me this year because on Monday and Tuesday, I volunteered at the UAS for STEM competition, which is a high school / collegiate drone thing. I'm sure there's details about it. Is that on the AMA website, Lee?
Yep.
Yeah. So speaking of Kyle Jarris with the AMA Education Department, he heads up a lot of that. And so he needed some judges for the presentations that these kids do. And so I sat in on that panel on those mornings and watched some really cool presentations for this stuff. And so when that was over around lunchtime, I had a block of hours between then and the RC flying to mosey around and do stuff. And I tended to lean towards the warbird side. Just there's always cool stuff going on there, especially early in the week. And on Monday or Tuesday or maybe both, there were a heck of a lot of Grumman Wildcats there. I saw at least 6 that had flown in. I had no idea there were 6 airworthy Wildcats to begin with.
Yeah, really?
Much less getting them all in the same place. But yeah, this was, I guess they were having some sort of special thing for Grumman cats. So there were Wildcats, Hellcats, or sometimes only one example, but Wildcat, Hellcat, Bearcat, Tiger Cat. Did I miss one?
You're a kitty.
Yeah. So they were all there.
That's it. Tomcat.
Lee and I, well, no Tomcats this year. Lee and I thought we were going to get to see them all fly together because they fired up and taxied out, and then they just went to some other ramp and shut down.
That's the tease.
Yeah.
Psych.
But I got to see the ME-262 fly in and land, and that was unplanned, just incidental, but that was cool. Yeah. They have the Warbird little arena place where people give talks, and I was watching the guy from Fagan Fighters talk about his P-40, and as I'm sitting in the bleachers or watching, I see the 262 fly on its downwind leg in the background. I'm like, hey, I forgot that was going to be here. That's pretty cool. And so when the speech was over, I went over to the primary fighter area, and they were towing it in. So I got a little bit of video of them towing the Messerschmitt in. And Lee got to see his P-38.
I did.
You got to hug it.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's right. Didn't have one last year, right? Other than the mini one?
That's correct. Wandina is the name of this one, but I don't have that photo. What I do want to share, though, with you guys, if you're on Facebook, there is a great place to see what happened at AirVenture by amateur photographers and some professional. Go find the Facebook group EAA AirVenture Oshkosh 2025. That's the name if you can look at the screen there. And you can see a ton of photos that people have shared, including a few of mine that might be in there.
Oh, neat.
Nice.
And I'm going to scroll down and see if the ones that I posted, because Terry was with me when I took these photos. So I'm going to try to see if they show up here. People have been posting nonstop. I mean, it's very active as far as.
So it's a site for just different people to post pictures?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Well, that's not a shot of the
nice.
Christian Eagles.
Christian Eagles, yeah. I mean, you get some really good photos.
F-35.
Enjoy. I was trying to see where my photos were.
Both airworthy B-29s were there.
What would you see? What Fitz? What Fitz? What?
What is it called?
This?
Yeah, the B-24 with the straight tail, the single tail.
Privateer?
Privateer, thank you, yes.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen one in the air.
All right.
There was one.
A picture of one in the air.
You know, Galveston had one, right?
Yeah, they had it for a long. They got sold to another museum, which fixed it up, but they didn't put it in flying condition.
Yeah.
Well, MiG.
So that's another neat thing about the RC flying is the evening air show is going on during that. So we see a lot of neat flyovers. And there was, I can never keep them straight, the Panther, the Cougar.
So Fitz, you might appreciate this.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I take this back. Terry, you weren't with me. It was Austin. We were heading to Seabase. So they took off the runway going south, which where we were going to Seabase. So you appreciate that, Fitz? I did this for you.
A glider being towed by a Pawnee or something like that?
Yeah.
So it's an Air Force glider? I see Air Force.
It's a U.S. Air Force. It did a demonstration over the runway, but that's my favorite pick right there.
I think that's an ASK-21.
Yeah. Piper Pawnee.
Yeah, cool.
Well, thank you.
I don't remember seeing
and then I posted one more, and then I posted my P-40 shot, which I thought turned out really good.
Yeah.
A couple other airplanes.
233.
Helldiver.
SB2C.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah. Well, we saw that last year. Yeah, big. I think that's relatively recent flying.
I think it's new. And I was on the taxiway. There's a fun one there. But
it's a nice Cessna. Was it a 1L39? Oh.
There were bunches of P-51s this year.
Oh yeah, there were.
Really? Yeah, usually a lot. MiG-17, yeah.
Was that a 17 or 15? I know there was a 17 there, but I think there was a 15 as well. And that's what I was saying a minute ago. There was a demo with a Panther and a MiG-15 flying around. Another demo with both B-29s and a couple of P-51s. So really neat stuff.
Yeah,
I love that I'm seeing Fitz leaning in on his screen.
Yeah, with his glasses down.
I can send you these pics, Fitz, so don't worry about it. But it's neat because the day I was there, these photos were taken on Sunday when people are arriving. So it was fun to just sit right on the front line with nobody was out there. And this was I think one of my favorite photos. They had the door down.
That's neat.
Just taxiing.
What's a Piper? Is that a Super Cub?
Yeah, it's like a Super Cub. Yeah.
Yeah, it just looks weird with the big tires.
Seaplanes on wheels.
I was going to ask, how close were you to the runway or the taxiway? It looks like
I'm on the line. Here I'm on the line.
Wow.
And this is with my 400 millimeter.
So the Cherokee.
So there's lots of fun there. How about this plane, Fitz?
Well, it's not a Cherokee. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah.
It's a seaplane, I guess?
Well, it can be. It can be both.
It looks like it's sort of, but they gave up at the tip floats.
Yeah. So I showed that to Terry. We were like, that's very interesting. And some very highly polished aluminum.
Oh, my eyes.
Aluminium. Look at that.
Yeah, that's shiny.
You probably see me right there in the reflection.
These planes sponsored by DeLorean.
But that's one of my better shots.
Well, that's neat. The T-38. No, T-38. Thank you. I was going to say T-33. That's not right.
Yeah. Anyway, those were my few shots that I took. I didn't get to take a lot, so.
So speaking of photos, I put a gallery up on our Facebook page yesterday as we record this that has some zoomed in shots of different airplanes. And I tried to get distinguishing features of these planes, and it's intended to be if you can guess what plane they are, and we'll post up the zoomed out photos of the whole airplane at some point in the next few days. But a few people have already gone out there and guessed, but we want more people out there looking at it and putting in your guesses. Some of them are pretty easy. Some of them I think are
that one I recognize instantly.
I knew you would because you used to work on them, but
yes,
that's not fair.
So yeah, that's why I didn't answer what it was. I just said I'll leave it for our audience.
Yeah. So anyway, fun little game. So get out there and give it a shot and test your knowledge. So I'm going to check my handy dandy list here. We'll see what's coming up next. And oh, looky, some dude gave some speech at the Blue Barn about the AMA.
Who was that? Must have been Kyle.
No, it's Ray. His name is Ray.
Yeah, it's me. Look there.
Oh, you.
Ray.
It's me.
10 to 11:15.
I love who was it that said save the best for last? I think it was Ron Hall. It's like I was the last person in session. It was on Saturday, was the busiest. There was no one after me. So
what was the full title of your speech here?
How to bring RC model aviation into your chapter.
Ah, okay.
And basically it's just a connection for their build and fly program. And fun thing about doing the seminar is that I can always just talk about the AMA, and really the session is how to have the build and fly program work effectively. And from all the years I've worked at the Blue Barn, the answer is over half. I mean, I'm probably even higher than that. Say 90% of the people I've spoken to who are in chapters and interested in the build and fly, or who've completed a build and fly aircraft have said to me that the best thing for them was having an AMA club nearby help them with their build and also with them flying their aircraft. And I hear this hundreds and hundreds of times because that seems to work for them. A lot of these guys are full-scale pilots. They know nothing about RC flying or building for that matter. So I basically took a list of all the lessons I've learned from people who are doing this program and working with the youth. And I just kind of put it in a simple list form for people to see and spewed it out. I didn't have a lot of people that morning. I had only 6 folks, and it's a small room, so it's not meant for 50 plus people. Most of the sessions that draw attention are how to build your chapter, how to, make your 501c3, stuff like that they, some financial aspecps.
Or how talks about Voyager.
Yeah, there you go. But I have to say, I was being skeptical with my coworkers. I said, if I have, I doubt I'll have more than 5 people. That was my comment. And they said, no, I bet you'll have 10. I said, well, if I have 10 people or more, I'll give each of you $10. And, and like Austin was saying, well, they could go out and offer someone $5 and make some money on the side. But I had 6 great people in that session. They all asked really good questions. We basically made it a one-on-one. I sat down, I sat in a chair with them, and I just did the slideshow, and I went through the list, and most of them were attentive in looking at the checklist and what I did. And I basically said, everything that you're seeing here is what I've learned from the Build and Fly program and talking with chapters here in the Blue Barn. And I think one of my favorite stories about that is I met a couple of guys from a chapter that I met last year who were involved in the Build and Fly. And this year they provided an aircraft they built, a second aircraft they built on display to promote the Build and Fly for their chapter. And we had a great talk. It's, I don't know, Terry, do you remember the yellow Cub I showed?
Oh, yeah, the RC one. Yep.
Right. And by the way, the guy that bought that kit and helped him has sent me an email with all the information. I'll send it to you. But it was just really neat. They were very active. They were very happy. Well, when they told me their story and that their club, I think it was the Hubbard something. I'll get back to you. The RC club near them offered 8 club members to help them with their Build and Fly.
Wow.
8 members.
Wow.
I mean, that's amazing to me. And that's the kind of, and they said it worked out great. That's the story. The story is these guys came in, they helped them build. They gave instructions. They took them back to the flying site to help these kids fly on buddy boxes and all that. They said it was very successful, which is why they're building more airplanes. And so I put that story in my slideshow. I was like, guys, I just want you to know, I met some people this week. I want to tell you their story, and I added it to my slideshow. And I said, here's everything I learned, because that's what you need to know. This is the kind of story that'll make your Build and Fly program a success. And I got to say the best compliment was when we were done. This guy came up to me and he goes, are you a school teacher? I was like, no. And he goes, do you work with kids? I said, well, I have worked with kids, Camp AMA and stuff like that. And he goes, you're a different speaker than I've been seeing here at Oshkosh, because most speakers are just talking, at me and not to me. It was like, I could keep up with what you were talking about. He was like, and I think it's much better that it was smaller group. So I was like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So we had a really good time. And then I think this is a fun story too. After my session, I was walking in the Blue Barn. I ran into a gentleman from Texas. He lives in Richardson or near Richardson. He knows the Richardson RC Club, and he knows Curtis, our buddy Curtis Simmons. So Curtis is part of their Build and Fly program for their chapter. And we just, again, just kind of told stories about it. And I asked him for his pros and cons of their program, and I gathered more information. So that's the reason why I like the Blue Barn so much, is that people really don't mind going in there and having that conversation to make other chapters successful. They want, as the title of my first slide says, we need more youth in full scale and model aviation. And we do. And that's how you do it. The end.
May I? I didn't want to interrupt because I get the wrath of Lee again, but I have what was going to be 2 comments and now is 3. So hopefully I remember them all. But first, don't feel bad one bit about 6 people being there. 6 people is great. The last presentation that I gave was at the AMA Expo in New Jersey, however many years ago that was. One person showed up. I think he was there accidentally, and he only stuck around out of pity.
You say one. I had two. I think Fitz had the most. They just wanted to hear his voice.
I don't, and then Chris Wolf had people, beating each other up to get in.
Chris Wolf.
That guy. All right. And so the second thing is you mentioned the Richardson RC Club. So we need to mention again that their swap meet is coming up in like 2 weeks and change. And so you two jokers need to figure out if you're going or not.
Yeah. August 16th. Is that right?
Yeah. I forgot to ask you if you were planning on going or not.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Don't tell me, but they want to hear from you. So, yeah. So there's that. And then the last thing on this topic is, Lee, for people who don't know, and I'm only quasi-familiar because I was hanging around you, but give the quick elevator pitch on what the Build and Fly program is.
So the EAA has worked with Horizon Hobby and in partnership with AMA with some advice. They have developed a package for chapters to purchase that has an airplane in it, an aircraft kit. It's typically an old school Model Works 56, which is the Carl Goldberg Falcon 56 rekitted. That includes the tools, the glues, the covering, the iron, the battery, the receivers, the electronics, the motor, the prop. I mean, it's everything you need. It's basically RTF. You got to build it, but it's pretty much ready to fly. And it's a substantial discount. It's well over $1,000 if you buy it. It's $500 plus shipping for these chapters. And they're taking advantage of it. Oh, and also it includes Real Flight Simulator.
Oh, yeah.
So that's important because I know a lot of kids have learned to solo and fly using that system. So that's what the whole thing is. They're trying to get their kids busy, keep the kids busy, the younger members, especially during like winter months or when the weather's bad, something that these guys can put their hands on. And hopes of that, they'll use that experience to build an experimental aircraft one day. Yeah. Right. Their own Zenith, their own RB, etc. This year, I guess a couple of chapters complain that it's taking too long to build the balsa kit. They've partnered with Flight Test as well. So Flight Test has an option to build their something Scout XL. Gosh, what's the first word?
Just FT
Simple Scout. I think it's called the Simple Scout XL. And it was also in the video I showed you. So that's one of the options that they can buy as well. That's just a little faster. So I would call that skill level 1 if you're into model rocketry. And the 56 is 2 or 3, that's the goal. I think if they start with that, they need to definitely move into the old school Model Works aircraft.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, thank you for doing that. I know you spent a lot of time preparing that presentation, and you got up early to get there and make sure it happened. So I appreciate the effort you put into that.
I had fun.
So there's the flyer for the swap meet. August 16th. That's a Saturday, right? I think it's a Saturday.
Yep. It is in Richardson, Texas, First Baptist Church. I'll have to check with Fitz. I'll do our best. But the other thing Fitz and I need to talk about are plane tickets to New York.
Yes, because the NEAT fair cometh.
Yeah, we need to do that pretty quickly.
In September. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. And I think we hit everything on my list here, but what has gone unstated so far, we made a prediction several shows ago that Lee and I were going to spend 3 weeks just all up in each other's business, right? No escape. How is that going to turn out? Well, I can say I was sad to see you and Austin drive away last weekend.
I miss you, but not the mosquitoes.
Yeah, right? Who would have thought the mosquitoes were in Wisconsin? But they sure as heck were. So,
now, I will say, as much as I gave myself 2 extra days with you, Thursday and Friday, we drove up Wednesday, right? Or we left Tuesday. It didn't seem like we had that much time. We were,
we certainly more than last year when you came up for Oshkosh, and it was just hell on wheels from the second you got here. We did have a little bit of downtime. We got to go fishing. And we're not.
You went fishing. I went bait catching.
You caught
I caught one frightened little bass.
I thought you caught another one too.
No, I caught one. You caught 5. But the best fun we had was flying the PBYs together.
Oh yeah, we both had a little
that's
Blondly
pretty neat.
PBYs on there.
Yeah.
Right up until my right aileron servo decided to go on the Fritz.
Yeah, never without drama.
Hey. Everybody's up that remark.
It was scary, Fitz. I don't know if Terry was looking at my hand, but I had full left aileron trying to land my PBY on the water because my servo decided it didn't like the position it was in.
Oh.
Yeah, so when it landed, my aileron was in a different position at the neutral.
Oh.
Yeah. So I got to replace that servo.
You got it back down, made a nice landing, and Austin flew his Icon noisemaker that same day. Thanks, a screaming banshee compared to the Catalinas.
And we did some boating. That was fun. And
Lee got to try, and Austin got to try my zigzag racers and bash them up a we
broke his immediately. Yeah, Terry broke his right at the start.
We had a good time on the water doing different things.
I will say yes, the accommodations at Shea Dunn were awesome. We had a nice final dinner. I slept pretty well one night. I was like, that was the best, but I kept waking up early, darn it. A couple of times. I would have just gone into, that was that we had that one night we were just working in your workshop all day. That was fun. I was soldering cables like a crazy man. And no, that was good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to do while you're here, because you're good at silver soldering, and so I wanted to use your expertise so you could teach me on my Eindecker landing gear, but we never got close to doing that.
No.
So we'll have to do it remotely.
If we'd just not wasted that stupid time on the live show.
But that was fun.
It was fun. I was glad we had some people join us. It was all good. Yeah. And the drive to and from Green Bay is a bit exhausting.
From Green Bay to Oshkosh?
Yeah. What did I say? Yeah. That's what I meant.
You just said to Green Bay, but I didn't know if you meant from Muncie.
Oh, no. That was fine. And I think the running joke was, I think I asked you in a conversation, there was just so much construction there. And we were like, the thing that would blow your mind is if you counted all the orange cones, and I think I asked either you or Austin, like, where do they put these cones when they're done? And the answer was, they don't.
They're never done.
They're never done. Oh,
yeah, because it was construction last year, I remember.
Oh, yeah, they're the highway between Green Bay and Oshkosh, which goes through Appleton. They're making it from 2 lanes to 3 lanes, which it needs. But it's going to be a multi-year project.
Talk about picking up Austin at Appleton. Whole ordeal.
I think you were behind the wheel, so you were more intense about it. But the GPS might have misled us into an exit that didn't exist.
And me performing a U-turn that probably
no longer existed, maybe?
Illegal. I gave up. I said, I'm not going this way anymore. We kept getting rerouted. We were in lanes that were supposed to go right that made us go left. I was like, hell with this. I'm going back the way I came.
Bridge out, Area 51, like the whole thing. But we got there.
And by the way, more cones at the airport. Like, if you thought you had enough cones on the highway, then you show up at the airport and there's cones there that freak me out. I'm just like having nightmares of these orange barrel cones.
Lee was just white knuckle the whole drive.
Did he fly in or something?
Yeah, Austin flew in on Wednesday.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I thought he drove up with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope, he had work.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah. All right, so Fitz, you were personally requested to come back next year. Your presence at the RC field was missed, so give it some thought. We're giving you a year in advance to think about it and plan it out. We'd love to have you back.
Sure, I'd like to do it as long as work doesn't get in the way.
Okay.
Work schmirk.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry I couldn't make it this year.
Yeah.
Are you tentatively? I know it's early. Were you tentatively thinking the same thing? The dual header of Nats and
Oshkosh?
Well,
probably
actually,
so.
Your name was mentioned a couple of times for Nats because next year is the 100th. I'm telling you, next year is the 100th anniversary.
Oh, is it? Oh,
of Nats, and they've asked for the 3 Amigos to be up there, and we did. I think we talked about it on the live show. We didn't get to really finish because we were still doing Nats, but we got very nice compliments for our work, for photos and Terry's interviews. And I think if we did that again, and this time try to do some different events that we missed, gliders and RC aerobatics.
Yeah, I'll have to say, Terry, great job on interviews, by the way.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. But typically the compliments I receive are something like, "Hey, good job, Terry. Is Fitz coming next year?"
No, you didn't get that.
Well, I can't. I mean, I'm
what I
just
heard.
imagining. I'm imagining, really, in my mind, because I'm usually behind the camera. I don't think I've ever recorded the two of you on camera.
Us too.
No, the two of you on camera with my microphones. I don't think I've ever done that. I think it would
You
be
sure?
Think about it. When have I had a chance to be behind the camera with both of you at the same time?
Huh.
I mean, there was that one time we were at the expo, but
AMA Expo.
Yeah.
I know.
We interviewed. What's
Did
his
I
name?
ever do it? I wasn't there.
Who
I
did
didn't
the
record
camera
that.
work?
I didn't record that. I think it was Matt.
Matt Chapman.
You guys
we
I
interviewed
was,
Matt Chapman.
but I wasn't doing
Really?
the recording. Yeah, it wasn't an
Oh.
RC roundtable thing.
Huh.
I'm just saying. I think it'd be fun to
Okay.
have you two on mics, just walking around talking to people.
Yeah. All right.
And then Terry fighting off all the women that are trying to get their hands on Fitz.
Then he woke up from that dream.
Anyway, just something to think about.
Yeah.
And of course, if we get our plane tickets to New York at Fitz, I can do that during the Neat Fair.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see you guys there. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I don't want to overhype it, but it's going to be fun.
Oh, Terry, I wanted to say thank you for wearing the Hobby View shirt. Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate it. Any comments on it? Or
I have to relay your thanks to Lee because he bought that shirt for me.
yeah, thanks, Lee.
Thank you, Lee.
Not that Terry would ever buy that shirt for himself.
Well, thanks, Lee, for buying it, but thanks, Terry, for actually wearing it.
Yeah.
There you go.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can get in the dance with gig. You gotta.
Yeah, I'm sure I did get comments about it. I don't remember specifically who, but yeah,
Okay.
you're nationwide, baby.
I just wonder if anybody actually. Okay. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Much appreciated.
Lee's shaking his head.
Oh, we were pushing RC Roundtable harder than
Yeah, we
Hobby
tried.
View.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
do
well.
need more stickers. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all out of stickers. I'm out myself.
I think I've got a stash around here somewhere, but I need to check.
Well, I will say, after looking at the 13th Squadron shirt and the Hobby View shirt, I think RC Roundtable needs to finally, after 8-something years, get their button gear.
Get a shirt.
Get some
Make
merch.
official shirts.
Yeah, we've talked about that a few times, and we just haven't pulled the trigger. So. All right. So it shall be. All right, I did have, I'm sorry, I had one more thing here. It ought to be a quick one. So speaking of the Horizon tent outside Hangar C,
I know where we're going with this. Go ahead.
that's not the direction I'm going. You choose.
Oh,
the
okay.
direction you're going.
I'll add that.
Yeah. So we popped in there a couple times, and they had some new products. They had the little UMX Scrappy, the new mic.
Oh, yeah, the new one. Yeah, the one they just
they had
announced.
that in there, and they also had the Airbus. And I don't know if it was a pre-production or what, but they had that in there, and we got some pictures of Steve Petrato, a Horizon guy, holding it. And I need to post those. They're on my phone somewhere.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, so he let us poke around on it and check it out and then take some pictures. And we should mention that Steve helped you out at the Blue Barn there, Lee.
I should absolutely do that. Steve Petrato, thank you for helping me out at the Blue Barn there. Is that it?
So you were having a sim issue, and magically.
Okay, stop. I'll do it. I'll finish the story. Part of the build and fly package, thank you. Part of the build and fly package is a copy of Real Flight Simulator. I had made comments in the past to the staff at EAA that the simulator software that's on display was version 8. Well, this year they decided to pull all the PCs out at Blue Barn and replace them with laptops and got rid of the software. And I said, well, this is a good opportunity to put the latest version Evolution on. Well, they didn't know how to do it, and they didn't have a copy of it, but they did have one of the transmitters. So I started thinking about it. It's like the only downside is that you have to have Steam now to download Real Flight. But I went over to Horizon Hobby with my buddy Terry with the blue tape on his mouth, and we talked to Steve Petrato. And son of a gun, this is the funny part. I told him the predicament. I said, I need to get a copy of Evolution. Can I buy it here, or can we sell it? He pulls out of his back pocket a license for Evolution. He kid you not. He goes, I just pulled these out of the boxes. I was going to put them away. He's like, here, just use this. And
Lee
sure
was
enough, I was
mid-sentence. He's like,
I was
is
like,
this your card?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I will tell you, because it's, I try to keep the part I help out at the Blue Barn functioning properly. I want to make sure I have all the information for people. And the real flight simulator is so powerful for these young kids. I said, you got to have it on one of the computers out here. So my buddy, Mark Colsar, who is a volunteer with EAA, who that I see every year, great guy. He's like, Lee, if you can do this, it'd be great. I'd love, whatever you need, just get it done. Well, that card, I had to create a Steam account, and I made it for AMA, and easy peasy, activated the game, got it running, and then it was busy all the time. We had kids constantly on that flight simulator program, and Mark was like, yeah, I'm so glad you had that here. Just sometimes you have adults that are with children or grandchildren, and they need to talk, and the kids are, in another world, and that helps. And I even had, like, on Saturday when I was doing this older couple was like having a little competition as they were flying the simulator. So anyway, thank you, Steve, for helping me, or helping the EA rather, get Evolution installed on their computers.
Is that all you're going to say, Lee? Okay. So, going back to the simulators being a great tool, we've talked about this 1,000 times, but it reminded me of being out at the RC flight line at Oshkosh. Numerous times people came up to me and said, I've never flown an RC plane before, but I have time on the simulator. When they told me that, I was like, you're going to do just fine. If you can handle the simulator, this Aero Scout in safe mode is going to be no problem. And that's the way it worked out every time. Now, there were a couple scary times this year. Going into this, I said I wasn't going to take it out of safe mode this year because too many people scared the pants off me last year when I did that. I did get weak somewhere. I stuck to it Monday and Tuesday, probably Wednesday, Thursday, as a couple people had come each day and I knew them and knew their skills. I'm like, all right, I'm going to let you try some aerobatics here for a minute. So let me switch it into safe for you, or out of safe for you. And that was okay. And then there was one guy who, it was the first time I had seen him, and he kept talking about how good he is, and he did okay and safe. And I'm like, all right, it's a completely different airplane when I turn this off. Are you ready? And I switched off, an immediate nosedive and into a spiral. I'm like, ah! He's like, oh, I lost it in the sun. Okay, let's try that again. And so I get it back up, get it stable. All right, are you ready? Immediate nosedive and into a spiral. I'm like, all right. I'm just going to break the switch off, and I'm never going to touch it again.
Well, I had two guys who were clearly skilled pilots that I just held the button down, and they did an air show. It was amazing. So I said, I'm glad to help you out, guys. I mentioned the other guy, but one guy was from Argentina, never been to AirVenture, never, didn't bring an RC plane, but he was smart. And I think he flew with you later, Terry. I think he came back another day and flew with you.
I had some people with English as a second language for sure. So it may have been him. And I only had one sandbagger this year. I talked about them, the people who walk up and act like they've never flown before, but they're actually accomplished pilots. So one guy really oversold it. And I went hook, line, and sinker. Oh, so if you want to go up, you push the stick forward. And I'm like, no, that's not how you do it. And so then halfway through, he's like, yeah, I have my own RV7 and I race it and all that. So
I have a 3-time tournament champion when it there.
Yeah. But for that guy, I never took it out of safe. He was in safe the whole time. I'm like, that's great. You're a super pilot, but you're going to be a super pilot in safe. So, and we had a good laugh about it, and it was fun. But yeah, I told Lee that I'm just going to go in the transmitter next year and just turn off that switch to safe. It's going to be in safe all the time, no matter what.
What if we should make that a rule just for that? It's always in safe, no matter what your experience is.
Yeah, well, that's my personal rule. But the thing is, a lot of times when the flight ends, it's like when you do an aero tow. You just want the tow plane to come down as quick as possible. So I just switch safe off, vertical dive, slip it in, and land. But,
well, you can, but I mean, when you're doing other people on the sticks.
Yeah, so I wouldn't hard program it so I couldn't take it out of safe. I'm joking when I say that.
Yeah, just like sort of an unwritten rule, or
my personal policy is, it's in safe. I believe you. You're probably a fantastic pilot, but that's not why we're here. You didn't come here to show me how good a pilot you are. We're here to give intro flights. So,
because if you think about it, it's more it has an introductory flight. It's not really to give experienced people, a way to kill time, so to speak. So nothing against them, but
Yeah. So I told people that several times, and most are cool with it, and did their few flights anyway. So nobody said, "Well, forget it, I'm leaving." So they seem to understand. But yeah, I got soft a couple times and then regretted it. So I'm going to write it on my workbench.
You sweetheart, you.
Safe only. So, all right. I'm done with Oshkosh. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about for that?
My unhappiness with the prices.
All right, go ahead, Grandpa.
Prices of what?
Of the receivers. An AR620 last year was $49.99. It is $62.99 now.
Wow.
That seems crazy increase for a dumb 6-channel receiver.
Maybe it's Canadian. We're practically in Canada here. So
yeah.
I'm just saying, I think that's a crazy increase. Increase. And the 4-channel is $44.99 now, and it used to be $34.99. So $10 more for a 4-channel dumb receiver. Spectrum, by the way.
Yeah, I would assume the tariffs have something to do with that, either preemptively or I don't know. But I'm not surprised by those changes.
And we just kind of talk. I mean, I'm going to be my little poo-poo head, but Fitz, you please jump in because I know you made a comment. But the anniversary champ, 2-channel, still brush motor. No, well, two-channel correct. I'm sorry, throttle plus elevator rudder. I'm sorry, I meant to just say 2 elevator rudder only. For what it was, I think I bought one for $40 or $50. It was almost brand new out of a box at a swap meet. They went $120 something, and it has safe, but I just think that's a crazy price for what that thing is. It should be a better gateway model at a better price for being 2 channels and non-brushless. I say 2 channels, you know what I mean? Sorry, 2 control surfaces, no ailerons.
Yeah.
Okay, now I can.
They'll either sell them at that price to people who aren't mad about it, or they won't sell them. Then they go on sale, and then you'll be happy. So
that's when I'll jump on it. Yes, but I'd still like the little brushless motor.
Yeah.
I am surprised they didn't put a brushless motor in it. That's probably my biggest surprise.
It doesn't need it, though. I mean, is the Champ still a Champ with that much power?
My Champ S Plus, which is just a little bigger with ailerons and so forth, has a brushless motor.
All right. And I'm going to be way out there. I've already said this. It's some ancient history show. I'm not a fan of my Champ. It was a dog. Granted, when I bought it, it had already been crashed and repaired, so it's not a fair assessment. But
who did the repair?
Whoever owned it before me. I don't know.
Then they did a bad job because of some of the best flying planes. I still got mine.
I believe you, but I got the one bad one that was ever produced or fixed, whatever the situation. So it did not impress me. So
yeah.
All right. So we're almost ready. We are this close to being ready. I had one more thing I wanted to show Fitz. This is the book I've been reading recently. Can you see that?
Lightning over Bougainville.
Yeah. So this is a book about the Yamamoto mission. Yeah. And so it's not at all what I expected. I thought it would be kind of a beginning to end story, but it's really, I don't know, I guess I'm 3/4 through it. It seems to be mostly about this convention that happened in the 80s at the Nimitz Museum in Fredericksburg, Texas, that had a lot of the pilots on both sides that were involved in this, as well as some historians and other things, but it focused on things that I wasn't aware of at all around this.
So in a good way or a bad way?
Yes, both. So for those who aren't aware, we're talking about the mission in 1943 where a group of P-38s went and intercepted Admiral Yamamoto's Betty, speaking of Bettys, and shot it down. And over Rabaul, somewhere out there by Guadalcanal. I think they took off from Guadalcanal. But anyway, the P-38s did, that is. But some interesting things. So everybody is unanimously in praise of the navigation and the precision that the P-38s had to make that interception. It was like a 1 in a million chance, and they pulled it off, whether it was because they were navigating so well or just dumb luck, that they ended up exactly where they wanted to be at the right time and made the thing happen.
I had a thought, too, when you finished.
What's that?
I had a thought, too.
Oh, okay. So I'll keep this short. But there's that. That's unanimous praise. But I didn't realize this. Of the P-38 pilots, more than one claimed to be the pilot who shot down Yamamoto's Betty.
Yeah.
And there were only two Bettys in that flight. It was 2 Bettys and I think 6 Zeros. And when the P-38s came back, there were claims of 3 Bettys shot down, which I don't think that's uncommon when more than one person's shooting at a plane in a wild, hairy dogfight. Things aren't clear. But apparently that dispute went on for decades and is still unsubstantiated. So there's that. Like, who actually shot the guy down? We don't know. And then another part I wasn't aware of, apparently the British were really mad at us about this whole thing. Because we knew about the details of that flight because we had broken the Japanese code.
Right.
And then the British, having had broken the Enigma stuff.
The German code, yeah.
You dumbasses, if you do such a precision mission, you're advertising to them that you know their code now, which means the Germans are going to know we know their code. And, how dare you? And I guess because there was no fallout from it, eventually the British cooled. But it was a big deal for a while, and they were mad as the dickens at us.
Yeah, that's a reasonable kind of thing to assume. But I think the Japanese just had a lot of hubris, thinking that, no, nobody can ever break our code.
That could
it was just a lucky shot, so to speak.
Anyway, the final controversy in this is something I had never really considered, at least not as part of this, but it's the morality of essentially assassinating foreign leaders during war. I mean, he was an admiral. He was in the Navy, so I assumed you would consider a combatant.
Yeah, it seems like a fair target.
But there's an interesting section here that talks about throughout history the high-level leadership generals and such that had been either deliberately or just not accidentally, but incidentally killed in wartime. So just some interesting stuff I never considered. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to send it your way. I think there'll be some things you like. But,
thank you.
Yeah, it wasn't what I expected, but it certainly gives some interesting thinking points.
Yeah, the interesting is the plane with Yamamoto in it didn't explode. It actually crash landed, but he was shot like through the head or something like that. Yeah, they found his body inside the plane.
Of the two Bettys, one crashed in the jungle, one kind of quasi crash landed in the ocean.
Yeah, his crashed in the jungle, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It did crash land, but it was all intact. It didn't explode into a ball of fire or something like that, unusually. And apparently he was, Laura, if I remember correctly, he was found in this chair holding his sword, shot through the head or something like that.
Wow.
So I was thinking, I wonder if this mission happened after Charles Lindbergh went around teaching the P-38 pilots how to extend their range with better fuel management.
Maybe, but they make a point of saying the P-38 was the only airplane in theater that could have done this mission because of its range.
Right, but I think he improved the range of the P-38 beyond what it was.
So the Navy initially had the information, and they said, well, we don't have anything that can take advantage of any of this. Let's call the Air Force guys next door, or Air Corps, I guess. Yeah. And not only that, but they had to get larger external tanks shipped in from somewhere else because the stuff they normally used didn't have enough gas for it. Wow. I just thought it was some interesting stuff all around.
But that's a good point, because you're navigating World War II, especially in the Pacific. It was compass and identifying islands and
stopwatch.
Yeah. And stopwatch, yeah.
Well, it was all over ocean. They intentionally stayed away from any land because they didn't want air watchers along the coast to let them know. So they went out over the ocean and then made a beeline in, and it was.
Yeah, I don't think they had. Crazy. At least in Europe, they had beacons, radio beacons. I don't really think they had much of that in.
Yeah, it was dead reckoning the whole way.
Yeah, it was,
Anyway, all right, so this show has gone on way longer than even we predicted. So, Lee, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm okay.
Are you still mad at me?
No, I'm not mad at you. How could I be mad at my buddy Terry?
All right. All right, so what do you think, Fitz? Ready to put a bow on it?
I think so.
All right.
Oh, I got one last thing.
But wait,
there's show and tell real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure.
Okay. So I went to a swap meet here at my Shimano's hobby shop, and I picked up this little guy. There's a gentleman had some control line airplanes. He actually had a bunch of them, but this one really caught my eye. It's an 049 powered. I have no idea what it is. I asked him, "What's it called?" He goes, "I don't know. I built it. Dinosaurs are still roaming the earth when he built it." But I liked it because it's got a built-up wing. Looks like it's covered with some film covering. It's got a nice 049 Golden Bee on it. It turns really nicely.
Oh.
So it's a control line. I said, "Well, this is pretty neat." And he didn't want much for it at all. So I said, "Okay, I'll take it home."
Landing gear?
Yeah, no landing gear. So I don't know if it's supposed to have some or it's a hand launch.
Okay.
That's a good question. But I didn't really care. I just thought it was just cool. I imagine you just start it up and let it go, and it flies around.
Is that a tornado prop?
It is. I believe so. It's not labeled anymore. Well, it's got something on there.
It looks like one, just the shape
looks
of
like a
it.
tornado
It just
prop.
looks like one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. So I might just run it with just prop. Nothing fancy.
All right.
Yeah. And he had a couple other engines, so I picked up some engines as well for a song.
Nice.
And he goes, "Oh, here, just take this." And so I got a control handle.
Oh, I was going to ask
said-
if you had lines for it.
Yeah, I got lines. And he said, "Oh, here, just take this." And I got another glow head. And he goes, "Oh, here, just take this." And so I got a glow plug clip with a switch, which is actually kind of neat.
Yeah. Looks like one of the old Dubro clips.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I don't have one with a switch. I like that so you don't short it out.
Yeah.
And real quick, let me get my chair here. Oh,
Wait, there's more.
there's one more thing. So I really got to stay off of eBay because I was poking around and I happened to see this.
Is that a Kyosho?
No, it's not. Good guess though. Stand back here. So this is in a way it's nothing really remarkable. It's just an old RC boat from Academy. It's a Korean company. It's not particularly fast or scale, but to me, this was a lot of memories. This was the first RC boat I ever bought when I was a kid, a teenager.
And that's new in box?
This is new in box, and it didn't want much for it. I still remember very much. There's a couple of stories related to this stupid boat. I walked into the hobby shop. Amado's Hobbies was unfortunately no longer there in New Britain, and they had one of these built on a counter. And first time I had really seen an RC boat. I'd played with RC cars, but I never saw an RC boat, and especially one built. I just was smitten with it. And being a poor teenager, it was a little bit out of my price range. But the guy in the store says, "Well, you just put it on layaway. Just pay me, $20 a week or something like that, and I'll hold it for you." And that's exactly what I did. So after maybe about a month of paying on it, I took the sucker home and built it, and I had a lot of fun with it, just using, just driving around in the various ponds and stuff. And I remember just a lot of memories with this one. I know I'm waxing lyrical here. I don't want to get too sappy, but just a couple of things in my life. An old friend who's no longer with me, we would go out in the pond and drive around. He would say, "Hey, let's go and bring," I actually had a name for the boat. He would say the name and bring so-and-so. And he'd think it was a person, but it's really the boat. And so we'd have good fun with it. And so it's kind of a memory to an old friend that's no longer with us. And another thing is I was driving around in the pond one day, just having a good time. And the local newspaper guy was there just taking pictures. And he saw the boat. And so he started taking pictures of the boat and asked me some stuff that ended up publishing in the newspaper. The funny thing is I didn't know it at the time. I thought, that's kind of neat. He might be in the newspaper, but I didn't think much of it. But I walk into another hobby shop and they had seen it and they had cut it out and stuck it on their pegboard. They didn't know really who it was. They just, RC boat. And I said, "Yeah, I have an RC boat." "Wait, that's mine. I remember they were taking a picture." And so the guy walked over and wrote my name on the picture. And I ended up working for that hobby shop later on. I'm still friends with the owner today. So this stupid little boat has got so much memories for something innocuous as an RC boat. And so when I saw one new in a box on eBay, I just had to get it, and just to relive a little bit of my childhood.
Nice story.
That's all I got to say about that.
So you've had fans since childhood. This is not just because of your YouTube channel.
Well, Fitz, what I hope you do, Fitz, is you put that on your hobby view and you actually open the box and do a live, let's go through the parts kind of thing.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. I hadn't thought of that.
You absolutely need to do that and have a couple of sessions of you building that. That's a great story.
And a box of tissues.
And by the way, when you do that, don't retell the story. Just cut to this section of our show. So you can give RC Roundtable a little love, and then you say, "All right, now back to the build."
You may know me from such podcasts as RC Roundtable.
I've been to some expos. You've seen me at swap meets. I've been to AirVenture.
The only thing is about with a boat this old, I wonder how well It's held up.
The ABS. Is it still white or is it yellow?
Exactly. So I'm sorry. I'm opening for the first time a mechanical speed controller.
Throw that in the
Remember
trash.
those?
Yeah, throw that in the trash.
Well, yeah. I'm not going to use that. And geared 540 motor. Look at that.
Oh, geared. Nice.
Yeah, that's snazzy. Yeah,
by the way, don't forget to add ballast for all the weight you're going to take out.
Yeah, really. It's going to be lithium batteries and.
Well, do what I did. I don't know if you know when I made my tugboat. I bought 2 large 2-cell lipos and I put them on each side, and I just used one. I just used one, and when I'm done, I just switch to the other battery.
Well, I'd use 2. You just run forever, right?
Right, but I just did it so that it would keep even.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do a big box. I just want to take a quick look.
Yeah, that's for your hobby view.
Yeah. I'll go.
Congrats on your score.
Thank you. And it is kind of a cool looking boat. I mean, I actually did like the look of it with the rails and stuff on it. It was kind of neat. I like cabin cruisers like that. So, and I've got multinational flags here. Korea, was it Germany? United States? I don't know what this is.
Norway, maybe?
Norway.
Maybe Norway? I don't know. But anyways, one of those chance finds. I was like, oh man, I need that. One of those things that, it's not really a collectible. It's probably a good thing. Nobody really knows what it is. It's just a cheesy boat, but it meant a lot to me.
Nice.
So one day I'll get that running.
It's a great story.
Oh, thank you.
Even the box is in good shape.
It is. It looks really almost too nice to build.
It's not.
But no, it's not. It will. It'll be built. It'll be interesting to run it nowadays with, high capacity lithium batteries and lighter weight setup.
Just pull a chair out and set your timer for 60 minutes.
Yeah, because before 1,200 milliamp hour 6-cell NiCads.
Fitz, ready?
What's that?
LEDs. When you do the build, put lights in it, buddy.
Oh, well.
No, don't well me. That's Terry's face said it all. He was all excited. LEDs, buddy. You got to put some LEDs in the thing.
Yes, all right. I think it does have windows. I can't remember if it was windows or decals, but okay.
Well, the hole's probably
at least nav lights.
Yeah.
Well, I've often thought about this. I wonder if the hole's thin enough on that and other older boats that you could just put them in there and diffuse.
1,000 watt LED, just big blob glowing on the pond.
It can't be any hotter than that speed control.
But he's absolutely. That's a great idea. I mean, you could just at least try before you seal the top. See if an LED will light through the hole.
Yeah, good idea. Okay, I'll put some lights in it.
What else, Terry? What else you got?
No,
smoke.
You got
some smoke in there. Some fishing rods, trawling.
Yeah.
There's a guy when it comes to my boat floats. He's got a cabin cruiser and he's got little Barbie dolls all over it.
Nice.
It plays music. It's got little all kinds of bikini-clad women.
Yeah.
Nice.
Clad. Anyways, all right. I think I've done enough waxing nostalgic. We can wrap this thing up, I think.
Let's do it. Thanks for sticking with us. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Appreciate you guys sticking with us for this kind of an extra long version of the RC Roundtable. Of course, we've been busy going out and doing stuff, so we need to tell you about it.
Yeah.
So
we like to think they care.
Yes. Maybe they care, or maybe they passed out. Yeah. They've gnawed their arm off to escape.
This is their third day listening to this podcast.
Like, as always, please send us your comments to RC Roundtable. Contact RC Roundtable. Let me start over again.
It's been a while since you've had to say this.
Yes. So first thing is like and subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to this on podcast, please give us a thumbs up somehow. Give us a good feedback. We really would appreciate it. You can send all hate mail to Terry at contact@rcroundtable.com. And if you're listening to this, see us on YouTube at RC Roundtable. If you're not, you should be. We got all kinds of pictures and pretty stuff. What else? I'm missing anything else? I think that's it.
Spotify, yes, like, subscribe. Yeah. We're RC Roundtable. Thank you for joining us.
Right. Don't forget. Oh, yeah. Go take a peek at rcroundtable.com because we have some articles from Terry, right, that you've been posting?
Yeah, I haven't posted one in a while. I need to do that. So thanks for the
nudge. Yeah, he's got some good stuff. So thanks, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you somewhere at the fly-in or something. Until next time, take care.
Please visit our website at rcroundtable.com. That's where you will find all of our podcast episodes. You can also find a little bit of background information about the show host and leave comments and suggestions about the show. There are links to a few of our favorite vendors and also links to our various social media accounts. Thank you for watching and listening.